and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Yeah.
Surely he hath borne our griefs.
Read that part again.
Which part? He was despised.
Despised, yeah.
He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Mhm.
Surely he hath borne our griefs.
Yeah, yeah, man. So the Lord came to die for our sins, starting off with those that that are of His elect, man, to bring peace to us and the Most High. See, go ahead.
And it says, and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken.
Yeah, yeah, because but when He went up on that cross, man, Jake, well, loads of Jakes back then said, like really that's happening to him because he's evil, not knowing he was a sacrifice.
You're mocking for the Son of God. Save yourself.
Yeah. And you know what? Those same spirits are back here to get judged, man. You know?
And it says,
And hey, just remember those that had a big part to play was them wicked, mainly them wicked scribes and Pharisees. Those priests, which some of them, those priests are back now, man. Which you know what I mean. They're back now in their various lots. Go ahead, bro.
and it says, smitten of God and afflicted, but he was wounded for our transgressions.
Yep.
He was bruised.
Yes. So that's that lamb, being a sacrifice for our sins, man. So, you know what I mean? So that's why, like, when the king comes to pass, like even now, we don't need to do it like a sacrifice for our sins, because the Lord did that once for those that starting off with those that are select, and then on down to the whole nation anyway. Because the see, you know what I mean. Those that are part of his let's say the wicked of Israel, go come back through the seed of those that are elect. You know.
When he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquity.
Yeah, that lamb, man. Which that Passover day, basically, that's exactly what took place, man. So that's why when this time comes around, man, we're supposed to have that party spirit.
Yeah.
Because the apostles, they've basically been like listening to like Exodus and stuff like that, getting into the spirit, and it's like before the fact, it weren't no joke.
It wasn't no
Yeah.
joke.
You were seeing all manner of different things, all manner of signs, and seeing, the plagues hitting and stuff like that. It was a serious time, right? But as Jake just want to make this thing a joke. It ain't no joke.
Yeah. And use that. One example, man, of a party. That's what the one trying to say it was of a Passover, and there was people was merry and shouting. It's like, bro, the standard we're supposed to look to is that, of our Lord, right?
Yeah.
The rest in the spirit.
Exactly. And when you read the scripture, was it Jeremiah, right? That this is a rebellious house, man.
Yeah.
Hey, when you read in that story, man, in the Exodus, man, all you seeing is Jake is rebellious as hell. Talking smack. It's like, here it is, the Lord's just done an amazing thing. And immediately, car.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, yo, Marsha, so who made you Lord over us then? Right? All of that spirit, man. And which is what you're seeing here today.
Same spirit.
Right, them same spirit, that same rebelliousness, man. What does the scripture say? Rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft.
Yeah.
Well, and it says the chastisement of our peace was upon him.
Yeah. So what's the chastisement of our peace? is him redeeming us from the curse of the law, man. Basically paying the price that has to be paid in order for us to have us and the Most High, man. So the Lord made that all happen, but then Jake still saying that the Lord doesn't have to be worshipped. Remember that whole idea of the Lord doesn't have to be worshipped, and so it came from that dude. That
The general.
That dude that got dead, man. It came from him. And now people want to talk about mercy.
Yeah, so he says that most Yahweh Shah doesn't need to be worshipped, but it's only through Yahweh Shah that he's even going to be the king. You know, because Yahweh Shah, he's the mediator of a better covenant, right? Look, man, the scripture is Salah. The scripture says all have sinned and come short of the glory, right? We need Yahweh Shai. Yeah, you get these degenerates trying to say we don't need Yahweh Shai, and then we find out what they were doing behind closed doors, and it's like, look, man, if anyone needs, it's you.
Yeah, and obviously, like when the kingdom comes, we all gonna be changed anyway. But when he's in his right mind in the kingdom to come, and he going like yeah, as the scripture says, he actually gonna be like, "Bro, man, I was doing that." As we all,
Yeah,
you know, but especially dudes out there talking smack about the truth, getting pecked. When when he comes back as a baby in the kingdom, he goes like, "Oh, man, I was doing that."
It says, and it says, and with his stripes we are healed.
Yeah.
All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord have laid on him the iniquity of us all.
Yeah, so that's that lamb, man. So it's like if the Passover is like a example of our Lord, really, that's what it really is. On that day and in that period, what spirit are we supposed to be in? Of that, or of shooting a music video on stage?
A cheesy one like that.
Cheesy, bro.
When Jake get into like the hip hop thing, it's like they do the most corniest
shit.
It just makes man look stupid as hell.
Yeah, like it's cheesy as
What
shit.
the fuck are you doing?
Some shit ass punchlines.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing,
Like,
man?
bro, like I don't get it. Like, I mean, you know what? I don't get it. Yeah, why do you have to be an Israelite gangster? I don't get it. What?
Stupid nigga.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like Jake actually want to be like a Hebrew Israelite grip. That's it. Like,
but do you know what that shows you? It shows you they're still in the world.
They're still in the world.
They love the world.
Love the world. Because that's revered amongst niggas.
Yeah.
Right? But we ain't niggas. But because I was something, I'll be honest, I never really watched Shikari like that. But I was just like hearing, it's like, yo, y'all niggas, nigga this, nigga that. And I was like, yo, is how you speak to a congregation?
I put y'all niggas in front of my kids.
Niggas talking to war.
Bro, I'm not a nigga, bro.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to be a nigga, bro.
Brothers have had disputes before because
Yeah.
man called man a nigga. Man felt a certain
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Bro, I didn't like the way you said that, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't no nigga, bro. But it's like, I'm brother. I don't know what you mean by saying nigga, bro.
Hey,
The
even
hard
Kendrick said I'm not black though.
I ain't no niggas, man.
Hebrew Israelite grip.
You guys are niggas.
Yeah, sir.
You guys are niggas. That's why you keep saying that.
Yeah, man.
That's your spirit, yeah.
Like this,
You're not
like,
dealing with niggas, man.
and that's just of the world, man. It's always trying to like this new Hebrew Israelite, this new Hebrew Israelite gang, like all of this, like trying to shalom. Have a fun. It's
Yeah, the Lord ain't dealing with no nigga university.
a real nigga. A real nigga university.
Showers and no niggas. You guys are gonna be destroyed, man. You guys are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. That's what it is. And so it shows that Jake Bar really sought his children. And they're quick to follow any wind of like new doctrine.
Yeah, it's something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even that offshoot camp of that freak. Like, I see the video. It's like, where the hell do these members come from? Like, they just come out of like a factory line.
That's why they was excited to the video live stream their Passover. It was like, yeah, buy a ticket, $20 and all that.
Yeah.
You guys are just making merchandise. Only if you have read that already. Second Beaters 2. The rise of false prophets. That's what the whole chapter's talking about, man. And you guys fit into that niche of false prophets, man. The book of Jude. Crept in unawares. You guys are serpents, man. You guys are demons, man. You ain't really about this truth. You're about your own pockets. Your God is your belly. And the Lord warned us to warn Israel of guys like you. Romans 16 and 17 for a reason, man. Because you guys are quick to, Jake sees that and then Jake gets allured by it and thinking, yeah, this Israelite thing's cool, man. And they want to join the club not knowing that that's not what this truth's about, man. This truth's about suffering, man.
Like Jake think this truth's about just have a wine, just do this all day.
Yeah,
Just doing that the whole time.
it's like Israelite party.
It's an Israelite party. It's an Israelite party. Nah, man.
Say the time for that. I think that was going to be the time for the banks and so on.
This is 3, 11. It says, seeing then, all these things shall be so. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation, godliness, right? And
Yes.
so when you look into that word, God, conversation is anastrophe, which means manner of life.
Right? So the times that we're living in, you got to understand, this ain't the time to be making it, man. You read the scripture, was it? Someone get that. About Jake that has settled on their lease, man. Who's going to destroy you? Is he coming to destroy this place? He's not coming to, build him. He's coming to destroy the society. Anyone that's down with him is an enemy of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He don't say anyone else to be a friend of the world. Is an enemy to him, man. James 4 and 4. If you got it,
Jesus said, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and trust in chariots, because they have many but not upon the they believe in America to the temple, goods that America can offer, but all of this society is all
It's all done, and that's the thing. When you speak to like different people from different parts of the world, they're all reporting the same thing, right? The squeeze is on everyone, man. Right? Ain't nowhere you can go and escape. Yeah, things may be different and better in some aspects in comparison to others, right? But what we're witnessing worldwide is basically the end of this system.
It's a public demolition, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Organized demolition at that. Because you got Trump. Trump is making sure he's not listening to no other contacts. He's not listening to anyone in his office. His own like voting thing, whatever they call it, is totally like sunk down the drain. Approval rate
Is it gone down?
the drain. It's gone, bro. Because if within less than 2 months, people are just fed up with him already, man. All these tariff wars and all that, the sanctions. Like he's really pulling the wool over eyes, he pulled the wool over people's eyes, thinking that this place was going to be America, making America great again. But now all these increased taxes and so on and so forth, the tariff wars is going to hurt the consumers more than the fucking, the major corporations and that. People are getting fed up, man.
You know why that is? A lot of that goes back to a lack of knowledge, because people don't understand, economics and the root problem, man. And you got to go back to the scriptures. If you want the perfect economical situation, you got to go back to the law. You got to have just weights. So somebody get that, man. Just weights and balances, right? Because one of the core reasons is the money supply, and that's why you brothers were saying the same situation is happening all over the world, because the same system really is all over the world. It's a system of central banking where.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Who's gonna say something?
Yeah, no, what's the word?
Fiat currency.
Yeah, fiat currency. No, the
fractional reserve banking.
other words. Capitalism. Capitalism. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same system where ultimately it's an economic system that allows the rich to eat the poor
Yeah.
and take your work and your sweat. Do you know what I'm saying? And transfer is all of the whole system is based. It's a giant wealth transfer, and that's all the governments do. The governments are there to spend your money. They're there to spend money in your name that you don't really benefit from. It automatically always benefits the elites when you really break it down. That's why the rich continue to get richer, the poor get poorer, and they don't mind coming in. And when they make these wars, that's an opportunity for them to just rack up more debt in your name. That's why all these countries, no matter what politician comes into power, spending budget keep growing and growing. It happened with Trump. When Trump came into power the last time, man printed a whole bag of money. The most, the CARES Act, he printed trillions. Biden did the same thing, and Trump is doing the same thing now, but they're pretending that we're trying to cut costs. They're cutting costs, but they're still increasing the defense budget. They're still giving money out there to the state of Israel and all these different things. Whereas if you go into the scriptures, man, if you get the just weights and balance, why is the government borrowing money from a private entity anyway? Because the money is not even based on anything.
No intrinsic value.
There's no intrinsic value. And that's the one thing that Trump ain't talking about. None of them are talking about that because they're all in on the game.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Why is the government even borrowing money from the Federal Reserve Bank? Why don't the government, if you just want to print money, just print the money yourself and you don't owe nobody? Why are you printing it and owing someone in our name? Just print some dollars. Why are they borrowing pounds from the Bank of England? That's not backed by anything. Why can't the UK government just print some pounds? At least then you won't owe it to nobody. It will still cause inflation, but you wouldn't be in debt. And then you wouldn't have an excuse to what? Raise up our taxes to take more of our income to pay back this debt. Why?
It's called a debt cycle. That's what you're not saying. They got all the money goes to the elites. Like the elders say. Debt-based economy, isn't it?
This is Leviticus 19, verse 35. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weights, or in measure, just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin, shall ye have. I am the Lord your God.
Right, so the measure of value is supposed to be just. But in this system, it's not just because they can devalue the currency. They literally just print more currency, give it to themselves, and therein devalue your currency. Meanwhile, they own all the assets. So even in a situation of inflation, they benefit from that because they own all the hard assets. You don't. So inflation inevitably always hurts the people that don't own and benefits the people who do own. You understand? It's a flawed system, but our system was never like that. Our money was gold and silver, actual commodities, man. And then that commodity would be based on supply and demand of that commodity. But you couldn't artificially just can we just invent that there's bare silver in my pocket and then spend that and then devalue everyone else's silver based upon nothing. And now you've done the thing is the point is when they print all that money for themselves, what do they do with that money? They buy shit up and they own it. You're not buying shit up, you're still trying to get paid. Yeah. And then but the shit you need to buy now, like the food and all these things have gone up. It's wicked as hell. Another part of a righteous system is everybody's supposed to own shit. All citizens supposed to own land.
Yeah, their own farm land.
In a righteous kingdom. You know, that's why when we went into Israel, is that in Joshua? It says he divide the land and he's going to give to the small. That's in Joshua. It's also in yeah, it's all Deuteronomy. No, not that one, but that's one in Deuteronomy. Because you can't have a balanced society when the few own everything. The Israelite society wasn't like that. A righteous society isn't going to be based upon a few people owning all the assets. Because then that automatically makes everyone else a slave. That's that landlord feudalism type system. Where that man can just sit back and earn passive income because they own everything.
This is Numbers 26 and 54. To many, thou shalt give the more inheritance, and to few, thou shalt give the less inheritance.
Right. When we came out of Egypt, the Lord, not only did the Lord give us gold and silver, we already had human capital, because we are the human capital, and we had the mixed multitude as well, which is extra servants, right? The next stage in having a stable people is owning land. And then so the Lord gave us the land. When he gave us the land, did he say, oh, Moses, you take 90% of the land for you and your family, and then divide the rest of the 10% of the land between everyone else? No. That man said, listen, if you've got a big family, you get a big piece. If you've got a small family, you get a small piece. So everyone has land. Now, what that does is that means that everyone is kind of in a situation where you can provide for yourself. You can be a sovereign because you have land. And because you have land, that means you have, and hands, you've got a means of production to produce for yourself. You're not relying on someone else to produce for them, which is what most people are. We're human resources. You go to school so that you could go somewhere and say to someone else that owns something, can I work for you? Can I be a hired servant? You don't have a choice. Now, you got these rich kids, they have a choice. They got they got their land and the business they own. If they want to go work for someone, it's a choice. And then guess what? It better be worth my time.
It's usually your family business, father's business, grandfather's business, whatever the case may be. It's not as bad as working for something like that, because they're still part of you.
Yeah.
You know, whereas we're completely working for heathens, man.
Well, they don't have to work at all, because when you're a landlord, you've got a business that's working for you, just making passive income. So then if somebody wants to get you off your ass to do something for them, guess what? They're going to have to pay. But the reason that we'll take whatever wages we can get, because you don't have no fucking option. If you don't get that job, you're relying on welfare. You can't say, well, I've got a piece of land outside with some wood. I could chop down my own wood and start making some carpentry. Or I could do this for myself. Or me and my cousins, we got this land. Let's work it and produce for ourselves. No, you ain't got shit. You're in a council flat with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do there? It's difficult. Go on, read that again now. So land ownership for the citizenry is an important part of our law, and there's laws to make sure that we never lost our land. Why? Here it is. You got America's based upon Christian values and all this stuff here, but they can't break down to you. Well, break down why in the law it was so important that each Israelite family retained land, because that stops what? Oppression.
Also, there was a law between the tribes. The tribes couldn't buy it, other tribes' portions of land or anything like that. They were not able to.
Because what would happen if one tribe ended up with no land? They would become what? Servants to the other tribes. Quite naturally, because where you gonna live now? Oh, you gonna live on my field? Well, brother, you gotta work for that. You gotta pay me to see that. Limitation. Find out warrants them that join house to house. That's talking about the same thing.
Lamentation 5 and 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to Herians. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
And just to say this as well, man, it's the same thing with Esau, right? Esau has his own land that was given to him by the Heavenly Father, right? But he's taken everybody else's land. But everyone was given their portion of land so that we wouldn't take one another's land. But Esau, he gone against that. Another reason why he destroyed.
Esau learned the way of the ancient God, and he flipped it. He knew how the ancient world worked, ancient empires, how things are supposed to be. But then he thought, no, I'm going to come up with this new way of make it. Turn these people into debt slaves, man.
When you break it down, Egypt is how it is now.
Yeah.
Because in Egypt, the Pharaoh and the priesthood owned all the land.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He learned the ways of
and that's basically how it is now.
Yeah.
That's always been the way of oppression, though. That's not something Esau learned. That's literally how oppression has always worked. We were one of the only people that had it in our law to stop oppression from happening within ourselves. It's in our law. That's why we had a law that if you lost your land, you had to get it back. You could not lose it forever. This reason is there. That's not in Roman law. That's not in no other law. That's in our law, because that's our wisdom. And that's why the scripture says this wise people. Because when you have a situation like in the UK where you got a whole bunch of men that own nothing, you get what we got now. A society of losers.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because 90% of the land in the UK is owned by 10% of the population. And that's one of the roots of the problem.
That's the fact.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear fruit, people.
That's right. Well, you got
Esau today offers you a bunch of distractions, though, to try and keep you happy. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bread and surface.
yeah.
Same shit was happening back then.
Most
happening
people don't understand what oppression is, and this is goes back to the education. They don't like brothers have been learning about the wealth gap. It's the wealth gap that causes the problem, not how much money you got. It's how much money you got compared to the people at the top. So even if they give you these, they give you these little fees.
So
They're like, oh, we're gonna give everybody a little £200. Bro, if in the same year they passed a bill and they gave Elon and all them dons, trillions, that little 200 you got, right, doesn't really make a difference to you. Because ultimately what's happened is the wealth gap gets bigger and you have less in proportion to them, and so you can buy less. And that's what's happening. They fool the people by not understanding that while they're giving you whatever they give you, they're giving themselves a lot more. And as the gap gets bigger and bigger, your life gets harder and harder. Because the money works based upon supply and demand, and they got the most of it. That's why they do these little tweaks, and you think you're getting something out of it. We're gonna give everybody
£1,000.
yeah. Even if they did that, bro, they already gave themselves trillions.
If I can see what, even though when you see you get certain people that will just about own a house, but then you get others that own 10. Because like they had the wealth, and then because they got the money, there was not much by the other. It means nothing to them.
And now you can't catch up because you got that, you got these guys that have got 700 million, right? And they're making 5% on that. How much is 5% of 700 million? They don't even need to work. And then that little 5%, they can live good off that and do more investments, like buy up a house and rent it to your baby mom. And that's how the game works. So they're constantly just building wealth and building assets just based upon the system.
Taking
Yeah. Whereas you're not constantly building wealth and building assets. You ain't building nothing.
Every time they go buy a house, because they're in so higher demand, there's so few of them now, the prices are crazy.
Prices are going up, which is good for them because they own a bunch of houses anyway. So just increasing their asset value. The game is nasty, but if you went by the scriptures, you don't understand it. You got what did you finish there? Hey, that's why owning our own land is important for the kingdom of heaven. They in the churches, they don't like to talk about that. But the ownership of the land goes all the way back to Abraham's covenant. And it's still part of the covenant now. Yahweh Shai is coming to give us back our own land. And it's going to be divided amongst us. And we're going to own land. And land enough that you could do shit with it.
Yeah, the Lord said our borders are going to be even enlarged this time. So we're going to even have more land this time around.
But which you need. It's necessary. And sovereignty over that land.
Say,
Man's dream now is to buy a flat. Bro.
Flat.
What are you going to do with the flat?
Right.
Yeah.
You going to build
Yeah.
you build a factory in a flat?
A flat. You see them standing with their keys. I'm a new homeowner.
But that's another thing as well, because obviously that puts you off because you can't afford it. You push on having a family and all that.
Yeah.
It's actually fit a family now. Unless they don't want to have families.
Yeah, it's a big driver.
Yeah, even with these celebrities, you ever notice they get them to just show you stupid little assets, yeah? When them man never show you that they can go and just have a whole and make something out of that land, start producing on the yard. He's from St. Lucia, but he's one of them learned Negroes. Them man that's uppity and above everyone else. He was telling me, I ain't gonna say my name, but man, you never sell land. My father taught me, whatever you do, you never sell land. You know what I mean? Because them man understood, you don't sell land for nothing, for nobody. Don't sell no land. You keep the land. If you want to use my land, you pay me to use the land. I'm not gonna sell you the land. But most men don't understand the importance of land ownership. The scriptures do.
Yeah, when the Native Americans had all that land,
They
and
stole it.
Esau came and stole that shit. They kept moving them off their own fucking lands into reservations.
Esau
They
never
had
paid for
nothing
shit.
left.
Esau stole everything, man. He ain't paid for nothing, man.
Corrupt devil. That's why they didn't give Jacob 40 acres in the mule.
A little bit more that numbers. It says Numbers 26 and 54. To many thou shalt give the more inheritance, and to few thou shalt give the less inheritance. To everyone shall his inheritance be given according to those that were numbered of him. Notwithstanding, the land shall be divided by lot, according to the names of the tribes of their fathers. They shall inherit it.
There you go. And then so even if you go into our system of taxation was on increase. An increase is not a salary. The increase was you was a landowner, you had a cornfield. The increase was the production of that field. And then so you was charged on the production of that field. The hired servant didn't get charged because they're not producing nothing. So then you have a society where the mans that's put in the bill are the mans that are actually in that power position. We have a society where you're footing the bill. You're a little guy doing a little thing, and then when they're taking all your piece, and then the man them that's actually doing all the production and owning it and benefiting, they got all these loopholes and that, so they don't have to pay nothing.
Yep.
That's insane. That's backward. But what does that create? It creates a topsy-turvy situation where it's oppressive. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Then they spend money in your name and give themselves the money through contracts. It's a massive Ponzi scheme. And that's why it's only getting worse. It's not getting no better, and it ain't gonna get no better.
Trickle down economics,
Yeah, they made that bullshit up. If we give a bunch of money to the rich, it will trickle down to the poor. Hell no, it won't. Because they could buy up all the assets. They could land.
9. Beware, therefore, beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eyes be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him naught, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and if he sin unto thee.
Yeah, so we had a system set up even how to lend money to each other. Because you need, contrary to popular belief, you do need money. That's why the Lord gave us money. When we came out of Egypt, just peep the game. The Lord, we didn't come out of Egypt empty-handed, because the capital is liquid. Gold and silver allows for liquidity. It allows for trade to become fluid. And you could have a piece of land, but to work the land, you might need to get some hired servants. You need to have some peas in your pocket to buy that or to sort out your tools or whatever. It's difficult to do something with nothing. So you need land, you need labor, but you also need a little bit of liquidity. Even in this world, you need liquidity, right? You need capital in your hand. So sometimes you might have a brother that they might need money, so they'll go and lend the money, but not with interest. But you see, our society was you're not supposed to be making money based upon lending money to your brother. You're lending money to your brother to strengthen your brother, because guess what? Your brother strong is you strong. And that's how we used to be as a people when we was in our right mind. We would understand that the strength of my brother is my strength. It's better that we all be shining. It's better that this brother's farm is firing and all sin. This brother, this brother, this brother, this brother. It's better if we're all strong than I'm strong and everyone's weak. Because guess what? When hard times come on you, these men can't help you. That's why, you read in the history, we used to help each other, harvest each other's crops and all these different things, because you never know when your crop might fail. Like, well, at least this brother's crop didn't fail, so I could get some help. But now we're like crabs in a barrel. Everyone's trying to put another Jake down. They're trying to profit off their brother as much as possible and put their brother down to be strong by themselves. That's you can read by our law. You weren't meant to be that. But the Lord will say, yeah, if you got a poor brother, lend him with interest. No, the whole point was lending him so that he could give you the money back that you got. But then he's gonna be in a strong position. And then he could then help another brother.
And if you couldn't pay it back by the time of the year of Jubilee,
Release him.
Release him.
Even the Apostle I was talking about as a Nate. You know, he's saying like, you know, you're well to do. You're supposed to help yourself.
But guess
Put
what?
more hell on it.
The guy that's borrowing the money wouldn't be borrowing the money to live off that. The reason you're borrowing the money is to get shit done.
Yeah.
With the intention of paying back. And that's called righteousness because it is a deal. So you come to the deal with honesty. You're not just like, yo, let me borrow. You know, niggas, man. Niggas will just take your money because he want to take his girl out. So, yo, I'll give it back to you. Like, you know,
Man, pay you money, he's on holiday.
Yeah.
nah, he's supposed to be, listen.
Like starter capital.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's a startup capital to get something done. You know? But Jake could get a loan, and then Jake will start buying. Jake will start trying to live a lifestyle instead of actually building. You know, man, get the student loan, and
I got something on my sofa at uni.
that's how it is.
They don't know how money works. Don't know what to do with money. They don't teach you in school how to, you know, utilize your money and invest it to make more money. That's the fact. You know, to just destroy yourself.
Again, that's the thing. These public schools and these private schools, man. For these rich fucking Edomites, man, they get taught how to deal with certain things in the world, politics and wealth and all this types of things. You man, public school don't teach shit. You explain bullshit evolution things, and you know how to apply for a job. That's about it, bro. You know, by the time you come out, like, oh, what do you know? You know,
Yeah, that's Jake. Jake's thing is all about getting a job, a good job.
That's why it says in the book of Psalms, trust not.
Very oppressive. We're just taking resources, and they're taking as much as us, and they're the ones that's really benefit from the system. And even it's very difficult in the system to transcend social, economic situations. It's hard to move from the middle. Well, you could probably try and get to the middle class. That's about as far as you can get. It's very difficult to transition from the middle class upward.
I got something. It's from Haggai chapter 1 verse 6, and this is it. When Jake trying to make money and trying to get money, they think that's the answer to all things, right? But it never goes. It never stretches as far as you think it will. You know, because Esau's got ways of getting it back. You know? So you have so much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you're not filled with drinks. You clothe you, there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it in a bag of holes.
Because you're subject onto payments. Because you don't own anything, you're paying for everything.
That the more you earn, the more it leaks.
Yeah, you have to pay for your
Higher
water.
tax bands, and
You ain't got a well on your own property, so you got to pay for it. You know, you got to pay for it. You got to pay for everything, man. Because you don't have a system where you can produce anything for yourself to any real degree. But Esau does. He owns the factories. He owns, you know what I'm saying? They own shit.
Lots of spending the biggest thing that's they don't really understand it, but because the elites that basically spend their money on the extra luxurious, they couldn't spend their money because they were in lockdown. So when men are going to like Tesco, Sainsbury's, all of that, paying up like for their essentials, which is the majority of shit people went up to the shop owners, the people that own mortgages that are the ones.
And they took that money and bought houses and took all the assets. So that's cheap.
You know, because that's what some people said. It's a bit strange in an event like that house prices went up. It's kind of like, what? How is this happening? But because people that could buy, you know.
Yeah, a lot of them. Come on, these guys that are billionaires, they got guys that they just have going out there buying up assets for them, but they got nothing else to do with their money.
They're billionaires off their wealth.
Yeah.
Most man's half.
I was getting 80% of their salary.
Even when you look at this whole thing, they like to talk. Edomites like to talk about people are getting welfare. Actually, break down where the welfare dollars go. Break down where the welfare dollar. You give a woman the EBT card, and she goes into Walmart. That's going straight to Walmart. Now, Walmart ain't giving out most of their money to their workers. That's going to the shareholders, right? And the big companies they got contracts with. Then on top of that, look at the products that's in Walmart. Who owns those products? So where's all the profit? All that EBT money is ultimately going up. It's not staying among them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
This is Isaiah chapter 10,
Verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
Yeah, you're gonna come out from underneath Esau and this supremely oppressive system. It's supremely oppressive, man. Have you got the scripture about join house to house?
That
Yeah, this
Isaiah 5 and 8, and it says, "Woe unto them, but join house to house."
the word join there means to buy. So that's basically what Esau does. But we did it before. Just buy up everything. Join house to house, meaning to buy. Go on.
But lay field to field.
Right, see that field over there? I want to own that field. See that field over there? I want to own that field. I want to own all the fields. So now everyone, you has to come to me and work on my field.
And it says, "Till there be no place."
There's no place. You don't have your own place. You're living on someone else's land. You have to, which means you're subject to them. You got to pay them dues. You got to pay them taxes because it's there. We didn't pay tax on our land. You know what I mean? Because it's your land. Why are you paying tax on your land? You're paying rent. Most of us are paying rent.
Because even I'm thinking like in the States, you might own the house outright, but you're still gonna pay property tax.
Yeah, because you don't have the alloidial title. You know, you're not the actual owner. Go on.
And it says that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth.
You want to be the sole owner. You want to, and that's ultimately when you break it down. Esau's plan, these super elites, they want to be the ones to own everything through this the MOTB system, this new digital system. You will own nothing, so they want to basically have power to own all the possessions in the earth, all the land, everything, and then they just give you what they think the benevolent Esau, he will give you what he thinks that you can have. And that's ultimately, and that's why things are gonna get worse and worse, man. Because that's ultimately what they want. They want you to own nothing, and they own everything. You know. Well, you had wicked Jake that was doing that back then.
Can I try something else quickly? It's from Isaiah 30, verse 12. So therefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise his word and trust in oppression. Sorry, verse 7 first. But the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore I have cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. Right? Egypt, Esau, his kingdom, is not here to help. He's here to drain us of everything. They'll come out and say it, man. Right? They're not hiding it.
The small businesses getting destroyed, and who can actually survive? Only the NWO businesses, the businesses that's backed by the billionaires, backed by the banks, too big to fail, bare contracts, bare free money. You know what I mean? They can survive. They can pay. They can survive the pain, the stress of what they're putting on society. But the little guy, the little mom and pops, they have to close down, and they're gonna replace that with a Tesco local, or your you ever notice them things are popping up everywhere now? Yeah.
They want to flip you over to a digital system, man. They want to be they want to flip you onto beast tech. That's what they want, right? So they literally plan on taking everything from you and having you operate in this new system, man, because you ain't got a choice, no choice. It says, verse 8, says, now go right before them in a table and note it in a book. They make me for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, that they will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets say not unto the right things. They already hear what we've got to say. They trust in the system. You know, they're not trying to heed that this place is trying to swallow them up. You know?
Yeah, they're trying to get to the bad, because they, especially for the celebrityism, they think that there's a place in this place for everyone. There's not. Most people in this system are gonna be where the system wants them to be, which is downtrodden. That's the facts, because it's designed to be like that. Our ways wouldn't be designed that way. Are there going to be people with more, and are there going to be people with less? Yes. But this system is designed for extremes. It's literally designed for extremes. That's why, again, in our law, everyone owned land. Everyone had an inheritance.
Hey, bro, like even according to the law, Like if you got like a brother that dies without, you know what I mean, the son, you have to raise up seed unto his stead. So his line, even though we're part of the same family, but his name has inheritance. And then even we could even go to the story of Ruth, that whole situation to find the kinsman. It was a dig. It was a dig until they found a family member that could, you know, raise up seed to that land, you know, to then get that land.
But now
Keep it in the
people don't
family.
even operate as kids.
Yeah.
Separate.
Everything's individualism.
Yeah.
Everyone's just out for themselves. The elites don't operate like that though. They operate as families.
Yeah.
And that's what they can build.
Yeah, but the average family doesn't operate as it should do, which is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
business. They've destroyed that idea that really you and your cousins and everything are supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And even, you know, spiritual, because, you know, back home, so in Ghana, most certain tribes, right, they like leave like inheritance to their cousins and nephews on their father's side to keep the land in that name, you know.
Yeah, like now, especially Jake, we're the worst because the idea of what family is has been completely destroyed. We're just all about individualism, you know. And when you operate as an individual, you lose when you're coming against other people who are operating as a so-called community or as a bigger families. Like Elam and them, they operate like that. They do better than they own a lot more in London than Jake do. Because why? They'll work together to buy everyone, help everyone in the family buy a house. And they'll do what they got to do.
The scriptures say a house divided against itself cannot stand. They could work. We can't stand
Yeah,
it
for real.
because we're divided.
Right.
You know, and the scripture speaks about them making a tumult against us. So the house of Israel, so the nation of Israel, no will be remembered. We can't be together. We can't grow because we're always thinking about ourselves.
Yeah, and
know?
no plan. Them,
Each other.
all them other nations, man, they're like, okay, boom, if we gotta be servants, let's try and find out what's the best industry we could all go into,
Yeah.
and then we could get more out of it than what we're getting.
Yeah.
So you see Elam like, yo, you're gonna be pharmacist,
Yeah.
you're gonna go do that, or you're gonna be a doctor. And then the way it works is a lot of them what's it called? Professions. Yeah, you need what's it called?
Recommendation.
You need what's the word? Experience. So what they find out that these men Elam were doing, let's say you're a lawyer and I'm a doctor. I'm gonna be like, okay, your son, he gonna come and get experience from me. But my son is gonna be a lawyer, he's gonna come and get experience from you. We don't do that. We don't have them kind of links. But they do that. That's why that's how they're building each other up and putting themselves into higher socioeconomic brackets. Because they're planning out what their children are gonna do.
Yeah.
Whereas most Jake families is like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
And them man
You know,
they-
unless you're
them-
Nigerian, it's like, yeah, whatever. Oh, you wanna dance? Yeah. And then, or it's some sport bullshit, which sports has the lowest success rate of anything you could choose to be. Really, if you're not from a rich family, putting your child into sports and all that, you fucking rolling a dice. That's like gambling.
That is, yeah.
You literally rolling a dice because only like less than 1% of men are gonna make it to actually make real money. Whereas if they had just, it would have been easier for them to become a doctor.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Throwing away my dear.
Them Elam own all them pharmacies. You know,
Remember them man on streets?
opticians.
They got branded signs.
You go to the opticians and it's a little 4'2" Elam that's taking your eyes and shit.
You know, you get the word nepotism.
Yeah.
Which nepo, I think, is like uncle. Basically, he's going into a relation thing, right? Esau makes it seem like there's a negative thing about nepotism. That's because, I mean, he once again, we'll talk when he's doing it. Nepotism, that's why that's what elders are going into. That's why you're gonna have, look, for instance, in London, you go to a post office, pharmacist, Elam, petrol stations. But the thing is, when you look into like different cultures, like even in the Americas, even why for instance, I was looking into why most nail shops are Vietnamese. right? It was like post-war, and there was a whole thingy about it, right? But then they were all like, "Yo, you do this, and then you come work for me, and you set up your own one." While you get a lot of like Korean laundromats and stuff like that.
Got all these fucking Turkish bars,
Turkish
everywhere.
barbers.
You know, everywhere.
Food spots.
You can five on the same street, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Us man are just anything. Jake, especially the second, third generation, it's like a scatter gun.
Yes,
They just out here just doing anything, and,
Twerking and shit, you know what I mean?
whatever.
Being gangsters. Trying to be gangsters.
Yeah, wasting most of their life with no communication, no real help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you just like a ship without a rudder, basically. A bunch of rudderless ships just in chaos. Whereas in the ancient world, we were more like read about this is the family of them that do this.
Yeah.
This is the
Like-
family of them. that
Like,
do
like
that.
even if like there's different families that had like beef or whatever, man, there was still tight communities in places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jake just don't have that at all. Not in any capacity.
You don't get it back. And a lot of that was come back to being attached to land, didn't it? When you're attached to a land as well, because you know what breaks Jacob a lot of times is the fact that we're all over the place. Like, because when my family, when we was in Montserrat, how the thing go? My uncle yard was Dundessa. Right next to him was my auntie's yard, and this was my yard. We were right here, boom, boom, boom. So all my cousins, everything, when man go out and play, we were all in the same area. We're the same family. When we come to England, what us man are in London, these man are in like St. Albans, these man are in Birmingham. Bro, I got cousins in Birmingham, yeah. They got fully big youths that I've never known. If I pass them on the street, I wouldn't even know that, yeah, that's my cousin. Because the family's so broken up and dispersed and disjointed. You know what I'm saying?
For sake, I remember it was a period of time, a couple of years back, when even if you were in a certain community, he was basically paying people out to move from London places to like Manchester and stuff like that. So you may have a separate. You have to separate.
But then what that happens is you end up all disjointed. Whereas if we were still in Montserrat, but we would all know each other.
Yeah.
We'd 100% all be living in the same areas.
Yeah.
All be getting together regularly, strong unit together, helping each other.
Yeah.
You know?
But you saw an excuse back in the day, like, you know, when we got a group of Jake together, they weren't integrated because they were with each other, right? They weren't integrated, so they need to integrate into society, so they split them up to be like all black in the village kind of type thing. But we're getting up for racial abuse, man. I'm a look, you know?
Yeah, they all stay together. They all stay together in the same area. But again, a lot of that comes back to the fact that we don't own our own land and have our own place. Where it's ours, man.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be ours forever. We're just there.
Yeah.
Doing our thing. And invested too. Yep. But Jake is trying to move out. You wouldn't be trying to move out if you own where you live.
Did you finish this quick? Yeah, sure. It's verse 10 again, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get out of the way, turn aside out of the path, because the Holy One of Israel ceased from before us. Sorry, to cause the Holy One of Israel to cease before us. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression, trust in the system of all he's doing is oppressing us. They trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon.
Yeah, because it's perverse. The laws are perverse. They're not just. You know what I mean? That's why we're here disinherited and struggling. Because the whole system ultimately is set up against us, man. But the system to come is going to be set up in our favor, man. Like it was. Did anyone get the law on? Someone had the law on the inheritance, how the land had to be returned. No, returned. You know, if you sold the land, then you'd have to get the land back on the 50th year, innit? In the Jubilee. So even if a guy fell into a bad way and he went bankrupt and he had to sell his land, the person who bought the land wouldn't be able to keep that land forever. Eventually, that land would have to go back into the possession of the original people that it belonged to. You know? Whereas now, if you lose everything, you lose everything. You never get it back.
This is Joshua 13, start from verse 6. All the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon unto Misrephaim and all the Sidonians, then will I drive out from before the children of Israel. Only divide thou it by lot unto the Israelites for an inheritance, as I have commanded. Now therefore divide this land for inheritance unto the 9 tribes, and the half tribe of Manasseh, with whom the Reubenites and the Gadites have received their inheritance, which Moses gave them, beyond Jordan eastward, even as Moses, the servant of the Lord Yahweh Shai, gave them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's gonna happen again, man. Yeah, that's gonna happen again, man. When the Lord comes, the Lord's gonna divide the land among the tribes again, man. That's when we're gonna be set, man. This kingdom, right now, Esau owns everything, and even if you got a little bit for yourself, he's still a sovereign over you, and he still wants to come and take it from you now anyway through the MOTB.
So, like the brother said, Joshua,
So,
own nothing and be happy. They just want you to be continued like digital slaves. That's what it's about.
There was a Family Guy episode. Peter Griffin, he made himself sovereign of his own little space in it, right? Yeah. But the problem is that you've got no defense, bro. You've got no army to defend the Jews. Only if we was to do something like that, you know, Esau's going to come and take. He can take. You know, that's the best
defend your rights.
And he tried it with the black people.
that's it.
That's why
Yeah, so that shows you that unless you have minds, you don't really have freedom. So no, that means no Jake have freedom. The man talking about Jamaica independence. How can Jamaica be independent when the country you're independent from could just bomb the hell out of you if you got them? So that shows you the whole thing was a farce. They really still running Jamaica. Because if you tell them no, they'll just come and just
take you out.
Shalom,
all them Caribbean islands, they're not really independent. How can you be independent? You don't have no army to be independent with. Them man would just bully the thing. That's how it works. But that's why the Lord, one of the things the Lord is giving us as well, is might. One of the things that we're going to receive.
Because the problem is now we've got no might in our hands right now. Because the Lord has departed from us, you know, giving us into the hand of our enemies.
Yeah.
Right? So right now we don't have no power to resist Esau.
Yeah.
Right? But when we get given the powers and the changing comes, right? There ain't gonna be nobody that could ever contend with us.
That's why the whole civil rights movement was a mind. It was a mind disease. Because when you really break it down, the civil rights movement was just getting you comfortable with being oppressed. Because no man. Listen, this is the reality of the situation. Yeah? I have to just say it straight. I ain't trying to be calm. Yo, somebody up and dead back in. That's how it works. That's the reality of the world. That's the natural nature of man, and it's in our law. If a man violates you, you want to get back in. And if you have freedom, you're gonna get that get. That's a fact. The idea that Jake was gonna be happy with just be nice to me now, it's a lie. That's why they talk about that chip that Jake has in their shoulder. Because the reality is, you pick up that book about slavery and you read it and you get angry. And there's an anger that's built up inside you that you cannot express. You can't express it. Oh, you could be in your room and say, oh, fuck Esau. But you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing, and you haven't done nothing. This man done whatever he wanted to our people, and he got just to say, yeah, all right, whatever, man.
Right? He didn't even get a slap on the wrist, bro. He didn't even get
that. Civil rights, man. Just shut up. Yeah. Just shut up and get back to work. Yeah. That's basically what man did. And then you got these Jake running around talking about we're free now. How are you free? If you was free, the first thing you would have done was take revenge.
Yeah. Insurrection.
That's the first thing. They even show you that in their movies, man. They show you movies where man are under oppression. Yeah. What's the first thing that happens when they get free? The bad guy gets killed.
Free. Yeah. Insurrection.
The man that was oppressing almost every film where there's a group of bad guys oppressing another group of bad guys. When the other man them get the power over them, they take their revenge. They do their thing.
Django thing, man. You know, that's how you'd feel. You'd feel that way. Man, you fucking with your wife, fucking with the kids. Fucking with you, man. Go back and do something, man.
And you don't ask for that. It's the whole thing is weird because it's like it's bullshit because they're the ones that are in authority and in power. You can't make someone in authority and power do anything by asking. It don't work like
But
that.
this is why it was important for them to teach us Jesus Christ, because their God says you got to forgive and love everybody. That's what that was super important for them to put up their image and to teach us this fucking bullshit, man. Having the Christians up in court, you know, you got Jacob in court, he killed his son or something. Oh no, but I forgive you. So yeah, fuck all that, man.
Them they're laughing. And then on top of that, they're teaching you that overcoming is defined as like this weird situation where my man's just allowing you to do something. When you overcome, that's when you overcome someone by rocking them up, and then they're at your mercy. In the civil rights movement, Esau was never at the mercy of Jake. Jake was still at the mercy of Esau because you're begging. So how can you overcome someone?
I appreciate.
It's a full sense of
If my child begging me for some ice cream, yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, you can have the ice cream. The child didn't overcome nothing. What the fuck? I've just said, I'm tired of hearing you fucking asking me. You can have some ice cream, but you can only have one scoop.
That's
Yeah.
This is Revelation 2:25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nation.
Power. Receiving power. We haven't received any power. In the so-called nigga with Judah, the head tribe of the nation of Israel, you don't have any power. If you have to protest, you don't have power. The elites don't protest.
never.
Even when Trump here is exerting power, right? He's not exerting power by protesting. Protesting is not an exertion of power. You understand that? Real power don't protest. Real power just do so. Yeah.
Breakable kind of international.
A man of power. Imagine you got a man. Let's say you got a man here that's saying he's a powerful man, and he walks in on a group of people that he's supposed to have power over, and he just like, please, weak. He said that's weak. Ain't gonna a real man of power. Yo, do that. That's what power is. Power don't come with placards and start begging. That's what the employee does when you go to a manager. Oh, can I? You know, John. Yeah, you're right, mate. Are you? How's the kids? All right, cool. You know, next week, on Friday, can I? Is there any way? Is it? You know, could you just? You know, because that's what you're doing when you're in a position of weakness. When you're the boss, you don't come and that.
You just do it.
You just do so, and the other man them have to deal with it.
Daniel 17 verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom.
Does take sound like what happened in the civil rights movement?
Yeah.
Civil rights movement is a farce.
Esau made you think you had the chance to fight back, get something in return. But it was all a fun, full sense of
Now they're gonna say, well, things are a little bit better. That's fine. Okay, cool. But guess what? We're not looking for things to be a little bit better. That's not the goal. The goal is the kingdom of heaven, is rulership, is power, is revenge. So you gotta keep your eyes single on that. You can't be sidetracked into accepting subjection. And that's what Jake got fooled into. Oh, you can vote now. Vote for what? Who you voting for? Because if voting works, right? You know what? That's another thing that other Jake told me. He's like, listen, we're a minority in this country. Why do black people think we're gonna vote to change anything? How can a minority, even if the system is true, that shows you that you can't do nothing? Because you're a fucking minority. Democracy don't fucking work. Democracy doesn't work through minorities. Yeah? It's bullshit. The black vote. If the black vote was worth something, then you Jakes wouldn't be in the condition you're in America, would you?
Fucking trying to deport fucking, the Windrush, the Windrush guys, right? They man trying to deport you and shit, man. Like, where's your choice?
Well, I'll tell you another thing that people don't realize. The majority of people in society are what? Poor. Yeah. All right, so if democracy was real, wouldn't the poor people be voting for policies that made them more rich and made the rich poorer? But it happens the other way around, right? It shows you that the democracy is bullshit. It's a scam. It's nothing, man.
It's just a bit more on that, right? Because it says that the saints shall possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever, right? Just jump to verse 27 quick. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is the everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
Serve and obey.
It's like
That is the goal. The goal is I was reading that yesterday to my children. The birthright. We're supposed to be royal over these other nations, and they're supposed to be, yeah, man.
Natural born
When we
slaves.
say for do so, they do so. There's not no debate, and that's how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. If we say this is what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. We're not going to be sitting there backward and forward in, and they're debating, they're talking. No. Well, that's how our ruler goes. Go over there. Go over there. Come back over here. Go over there. Yeah, like Kublai Khan. We're gonna be like a kingdom of Kublai Khans, man. Dictatorship. They're gonna be like they're talking with these Edomites and sitting there with Volcam Malone and would you like to do this or that? And the other.
It's gonna be like true lords. Like lords.
They're gonna be coming with supplication. That's why the scripture they're gonna come with supplication. They're gonna be begging for amnesty, for favor.
Yeah.
And then it's on us whether we want to bestow that favor. But right now we're begging. Black Lives Matter.
we showed you we're not in a
Look, no, shoot. These fucking cops, man. No justice, no peace for who? For you? Because them Edomites are sleeping good. Them man are in there eating steak.
Well, even that dude who killed Trayvon Martin. Remember, like, yeah, I think I think either the gun that was used, whatever was used to kill him, he like sold it at a fucking auction. He was on tour for time and niggas were
And Jay couldn't do anything.
Nothing.
Bro. Legendary weapon on COD.
Yeah, I think he sold it at
All that
auction.
protested, man. They basically dropped the value of the properties in their own areas, and Esau came in and bought them up.
Yeah.
Freaking jokers, man.
Same thing.
Real badness don't protest, man.
So I need to read verse 26 as well, right? Because this is
Hey, even on the street level. Remember when them cartels? I forgot what cartel it was. They must have arrested one of the cartel boss's sons. But man sent a message and said he must be freed at a particular time. When the man didn't free, man, they went and shut up the police station and took him. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't on no protesting outside. Yeah, please. Them man said, "No, like, we're not having this."
Where's the t-shirt saying 3 months?
Yeah, no t-shirt. Like the man lined up their strap and just went and just dealt with the police, like and had the police under pure pain. They showed the picture of the police station, big bomber clock coat kind of holes all up in the police station. Now, they weren't playing. Not telling you Jakes to go do that, but I'm saying them man understood that
demonstration of power.
this is demonstration of power.
Same way America does. Trump, they just do what the fuck they want to. And you got the NATO nations and that just got trying to appease man, like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. You know, the Trump America do what the fuck they want to do because they got the power to, man.
Yes.
You know, and that's what we're going to receive. We're the power to take. I say the saints going to take the kingdom, right? No one to read verse 26 before 27.
Power to punish too.
Yeah.
Because you don't. Let me say this: you don't punish the villain, the criminal. Don't punish themselves. They don't agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where people get this idea from that you can appease a criminal and the criminal's gonna be like, okay, like you got me. I'm just gonna. Has it ever happened in life where a criminal just said, you know what, I'm guilty. I'm just gonna just willingly just go do 25 years in jail or something like that? It don't happen. There might be pressure on man to come in because he thinks, oh, they're after me. But it's not willingly. Remember, no one's after you. No one can do nothing to you. You're just gonna bring yourself forward for judgment. It doesn't work like that. And no man, in order for someone to be judged, another power that's stronger than them has to grab hold of them and make them pay. That's why they slam dunk you niggas' jaws into the ground, yeah, break your teeth out your mouth, beat you with a baton and drag you into that courthouse. Because they're showing you that we have the power to do that and will lock you away and keep you there until we say that you can get out. That's power. Jake don't have that kind of power. Jake ain't never had that kind of power in America. You cannot do that. If you try to do that, then Esau will come with a response and show you that now you can't just go grabbing up Edomites and putting them in it. Imagine that's kidnapping. They'll call it kidnapping. When the my man did what he did to Emmett Till, that man couldn't touch it. That man, yeah, he's innocent.
Yeah, they can do shit.
What are you gonna do? You wouldn't dare do it. You know what's gonna happen.
And then they do something to pacify Jake as well. Like give you some dusty ass statue of a nigga wearing a fucking wife beater.
Yeah, what's his name? What was his name again?
Black.
Crackhead.
Pacified shit.
But Daniel 7:26 says this, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, again to take force power, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. So that's the result of that power, to destroy this place, man. You know?
And another thing, you can never be a criminal when you're in power. And the very fact that you, Jake, identify with criminality shows that you're not in power. Because Esau don't identify criminality. You know why? Because I'm the one that makes the rules, isn't it? So, so it's like, yeah, I can do that. I'm not a criminal. Speaking of the kingdom, we're gonna be criminals. Hell no. When we grab Esau, we put him in slavery. Yeah, well, I'm a criminal. I'm a crime. I'm
going to
crime lord.
report you.
Yeah, man, I ain't no crime lord. I am the law. I never wrote the law. I am the law. Yeah. The very fact that Jake is
So we're gonna be a kingdom of priests. So we're gonna enact laws right there and then. So I come to this judgment.
yeah.
Off with his head.
Because we're gonna be perfect. There's not gonna be no lapse in judgment among the Israelites. There's no lapse in judgment. Oh, I forgot. I didn't know this law. I didn't know that. No, you're gonna know exactly what went on. You're gonna see all the lies.
No need for a
You know what I mean? So all judgment's gonna be just. This is the Heavenly Father judged it himself upon you, man.
Yeah, that's why you don't disrespect king, man.
Yeah.
When you're in the king's court, yeah, whatever he says goes.
Yeah.
And he ain't gonna be criminalized for it. You're the one that's gonna be the criminal, man. So it's the same. Like I said, the whole setup of America kind of shows where you niggas are at. You've got a whole genre glorifying being a criminal, and the fact that you're a criminal shows you have no power. Because if you really had power, you wouldn't be the criminal. They would be the criminal, and they'll be hiding from you. When they come up on the block, when you turn up, they'd be running. But when they turn up, you're running and scampering off like roaches. That's because you got no power, man. Real bad man don't run like that. You run your. I'll say this: even them wicked ass cartels, man, them niggas got areas that they run. No one don't make them run in their own town.
Even the police, yeah. They got war with the police.
They got their own police. I've seen them. You know them cartels. They got their own like trucks with their logo on it, just driving around and shit, like policing their own areas. That's crazy. Can you imagine one of these dusty gangs in London doing that? Just driving around with their gang sign in their area or the thing. They might not want to, because they know Trident will just turn up and sweep them off the road, real quick.
Isaiah 49:22. Thus saith the Lord Jehovah, behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people. And they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their faces toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Jehovah, but they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
Right, what does it mean they're going to be nursing? Basically, the other nations are going to be there to supplement our economy. They're going to be there to supplement how we got things going on. So our wants and needs, they will provide. You know? So, we need some wood from over there. So they're going to deliver it like prime Amazon, because man need to build it.
Because we're not going to be using each other as servants like that. Because we're going to be kings and priests, right? So we're not serving one another like that. That's what you humans are here to.
Supplement.
Successors of this school, other nations are not slaves.
And that's how an economy works. Even now, you have a service economy, right? The service economy exists for people who are using that service economy. So it's really no different in that way. If we have a desire for a particular thing, they will make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got tribute. Some things they might get paid for, some things they not. Depends on the tribute. All right, but they're going to be there to supplement our lifestyles, and that's how it's going to be.
You want to say something, Chef?
No. I'm just checking the very
But that's real reparations right there. That's why we don't care about, getting some check from Esau on this side, for whatever zeros they're gonna give. That's not gonna quit anything, man. No. That's not sincere enough for us to be like, yeah, all right, we got our inheritance work. Now we got to put your ass in captivity. Put your ass on them slave ships. Make you feel the pain. Make you separate you from your family members. Put you on different plantations. And put your ass into work.
Revelation 13 and 9.
You gotta know how it feels, man. Then you gotta go through what we went through, man. And then some, man. That's all reparations. But anytime, even in the movies, they'll like put things in there to make Jake not want to retaliate. Like, revenge is not the same as justice. Yeah, justice and that. There's no justice in revenge. Don't do it. Yeah, they always do that in the revenge type movies. And the Jake especially movie type movies. It's like, no, revenge, you can't take revenge. Like, don't do revenge. It's
bad.
Yeah. But Esau will do it on a regular.
You know the one where it's like killing him won't make you feel better.
Yeah. Absolutely will. It's will, bitch. Absolutely
Man,
will.
the drop the sword.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What have I become?
Not killing him just makes you feel worse. It's called closure.
Yeah. Hey, even remember in Black Panther, man's got all this like superpower and vibranium, and then at the end of it, he goes and buys the flat. Remember he bought a box of flats.
Oh, in the hood, didn't he? Yeah.
But I mean,
He was taking the piss.
if you have power, bro, I want to run. I want to control everything.
Get him degraded. Then his cousin had to steal vibranium.
Yeah.
The came to pick up him with the stolen vibranium, started selling it on the market.
Come on,
Make money. He turned himself into a criminal, basically.
basic.
Then the Charlie's dad coming like, what you doing? Like, you've been stealing vibranium, like, giving it the floor, and all this shit.
You know, I just thought about it. It makes me kind of funny though, because Wakanda had all this technology.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like it's like Jake got superpowers.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Like Lord had been there, right?
Yeah.
But they still had to bow to the outside world, man. Like
Yeah, they
Howard
want
Shah was to
superior.
come here and he can still conquer Howard Shah. You still have to serve him. No,
Yeah, they had the superior, but they tried to make it look like it was a bad thing that to conquer the world.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that's all Esau's done. Anytime Esau has the military advantage,
he wants that.
he conquers.
He wants to use it for that.
And to share as well, the thing about, because they didn't want to share. Yeah. But then, Killmonger was like, no, you can take over the world with this.
Yeah.
But then T'Challa was like,
Yeah, they made it look like it's a bad thing. So how was the world operating at the time, even in that universe? America was still the superpower.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So this is just listen, man. That's why we don't hold ourselves to the morality of the fucking world. Our morality comes from the scriptures. So that you gotta let go a lot of the bullshit that the world tries to put into your mind, like slavery is bad. It ain't gonna be bad when we do it.
it's bad for you. It's bad for you, but that's it, man. Rightfully so.
Psalms 137 and 8. O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou as served us.
Right? So that revenge is something that's supposed to make us happy, man.
Yeah.
You know, that they're going to receive what we got. You know?
Destroyed.
But what you did was unrighteous.
Okay.
Right? The Lord is bringing judgment through us, man. The scripture speaks about
You
that.
still got Jake now putting corrosive chemicals on their skin to try and emulate you. That's how badly you didn't just put Jake in slavery. You destroyed the minds of Jake, and all you got to do is go on World Star Hip Hop to see it. Jake has a serious sickness, and a lot of that sickness was put on them by you Edomites, and you pretend like you ain't had nothing to do with it, but you did. You absolutely did. You're the core reason. You broke Jake down. You said Jake dumb, stupid animal. You scientific racism. You came up with BS. You didn't just say, "Oh, we're just gonna work." No, you said, "Man, ain't even human." You destroyed Jake mentally, man. You used every weapon you could to destroy us as a people, man. You have to pay for it, and we're gonna destroy you mentally too. But the difference being is that when we put you down, it's going to be the truth that you are really the lowest form of human being there is on the planet. You are. You Edomites are the lowest. You really are the dregs of humanity. So we're going to treat you like it, and the other nations are going to treat you like it too. You're going to have the worst jobs in the kingdom of heaven.
Well, that speaks about him, you know, being the part of the potter's clay, right? You're like the dishonorable vessel, right? You're like the last of the clay that the most I had left behind. And we just make this people, wouldn't it? It's lacking nutrients, lacking melanin and shit. Yeah, we use that for that.
You're expendable.
You know?
And that's why you're gonna be, like even the other nations, they're redeemable. You can clean them up. You are absolutely dispensable. You're like a just man just use a plastic fork and he just dash it.
You're unwanted.
That's what you Edomites represent.
So if I could say one of the things I think about is Esau doesn't even have his word. That's like the most basic thing. Right? You look at the whole story of what, like Esther. Was it Esther? Yeah, Esther, where it was all because the king had basically said, like, this is it. At that point, that it was sealed by the king. That was law now. Whereas in Esau will say something, and then he doesn't even believe what he says. He'll go renege on it 2 months later, 3 weeks later. How?
So with Brexit, they set the standard for us also, but actually, no, it's not really a thing. Like,
Because it's always games. Esau is a trickster. So it's always games and foolishness, man. And we're tired of it. I get tired. I sit there and I'm watching Trump, and sometimes I'm like, man, I'm tired of this bullshit. These men are always lying and scheming and hypocriting. Why can't we just live in a world where people just talk straight and just say what they mean and do what they say? Do you know how simple life would be? But instead, we got everything's a lie, man. You can't even watch a video. I have to watch a video online, and I have to really look at it to find out before I get triggered if it's fake or not. And usually it's fake. And I'm like, oh. You know how many times you do that? You watch a video, you're getting pissed. You go in the comment board, oh, this is a comedian doing a sketch. It's like, oh man,
Wasted energy, man.
fucking hell, man. I knew it. It was some bullshit. Just some made up crap. This is the way of this world, man.
Psalm 58 and 2. Yea, in heart, ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of the hands. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
Yeah, bare badness Esau's doing, and then they act like they don't promote badness. They don't promote killing. And after a while, it starts to get to you. Well, it's got to me. Because it's like you're living in, there's the real world, and then there's the way that Esau portrays everything.
Yeah.
Like when I'm sitting there and I'm watching politicians talking about how they're going to make life better for everyone, you start getting a little sick feeling in your stomach. Like, bro, why don't you just tell the truth, my nigga? Why don't you just say, listen, we're lording over you and you're fucked. Like, I would just feel much better. I have to sit there and watch you lie. Just lie, like full-faced lies, or get up there and pretend you care about Ukrainian. All of a sudden, all the European leaders, they care about Ukrainians. Like, I'm not meant to believe this shit. They don't care what we're gonna do. Listen, man, these Edomites, man, are the worst liars ever. Before this, no one cared about Ukraine and what a Ukrainian was. Now, all of a sudden, they care about all the Ukrainian babies. And they did the same thing in Iraq. All the babies dying in Iraq. It's always they care about children. Meanwhile, right here, they're murdering children. They abort children. They don't really care about children. It's all lies. It's all this facade that they put on. They want to be the good guy and the bad guy at the same time. Just be the devil, man. It makes our job harder because these niggas believe this.
Says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear.
Yeah, Esau, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to change Esau from their mindset. They are, you can't, we're not going to negotiate our way out of this problem. That's why the civil rights and that was never going to work. Because Esau's mindset is his mindset, and his cogitation, like the ancient Canaanites, will never be changed. Esau's the devil that the Bible speaks of, and his mindset is always going to be set towards destroying Jake and getting the upper hand. That's why in the kingdom we're not going to work it out. All right, Esau, it's all right. No, we're going to have to just get rid of him. Because as long as he's here, he's just going to be like a stain.
Just keep doing his thing.
Wisdom Solomon 2 verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grey hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice. So it don't matter what they're talking to you, what they're saying to you. As long as they your guards down, they're gonna take advantage, man. Because they can, right?
And they did. They absolutely did. And even now, there's got people cheerleading the idea that Trump can annex Greenland. God damn, I thought you lot were finished with all that stuff. You cool with that? Yeah, ha ha ha. Yeah, we should take Greenland. You take Canada. It's like, yeah, there we go again. So basically, you haven't changed. Basically, you haven't changed. You're showing the whole world, yeah. Was always, yeah. Now you're thinking about what you're saying.
And it shows it ain't just a leader that's saying or doing it. You're supporting it.
Yeah.
So you read them as a whole. You just
One guy, I remember one guy called into a show, and I was listening to him, and he was like, "Yeah, Trump's gotta take the resources, because them guys are the enemies, and it's gonna make American lives better." So basically, what you're saying, if you have no morals, you're willing to do war unto him that coveteth for evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. Edomites have not changed. You will allow anything to happen as long as at the end of the day there's a potential that makes your life better. But that's why you took them out. That's why you enslaved the so-called Negro. That's why you slaughtered the Native American Indians, because you wanted to make your life great again.
don't take it, Russia will take it.
Yeah.
So then you don't have no principles. You either have principles and morals or you don't. And that's what people don't understand. There's not an excuse to break your principles and morals. It's either you're not a murderer or you're a murderer. You can't say, well, but you know what, man, I had to do... no, bro, you're a murderer. There can't be a situation where you allow for the murder to happen. Find an excuse.
That's right.
People with integrity won't do something just because they can make some money out of it. They'll be willing to suffer to retain their integrity. That's what integrity is. I'd rather be poor than be a murderer. But you can't say, oh, I'm not a murderer, as long as everything's good for you. But then as soon as you can give you some advantage, you murder people, but then still try to hold this moral high ground. No, you devils, you're the same. We should have took the oil. So my man said.
That's Esau's spirit, man. Like I remember one time I saw like a video of them, them small hats in so-called Palestine, right? Bro, this dude going to people's homes and just move in. And then after, when the people come and say, leave my house, leave my land. And I actually saw a small hat say, basically, if I don't do it, someone else will. So
I saw that one.
It might as well be me. And bro, he just moved in the yard. He just got in there, he's chilling. It's my house now.
But that's how they got America.
That's what they do.
That's exactly how they took America, man. From the east to the west, man. They saw land that was good for them to make a life for themselves. They didn't care that there was people already living. They had no respect. But apparently they believe in the Bible. Apparently they have these good Christian morals that they believe in. Yes, man.
Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, but like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Oh, wait. I forgot to tell you, brothers. Trump said, well, Denmark, I talked to Denmark, 200 years ago, Denmark came from far and away and decided that Greenland belongs to them. And I don't think that's right. And I was like, listen, I'm gonna put it in a group. He actually said 300 years ago, they come from far away, Denmark's far from Greenland, and decided that Greenland is part of America. I'm part of Denmark. And he goes, I don't think that's right. And I was just there like,
you American bastard.
Why am I listening to what he's saying? That's exactly how America was founded. Where do you think the man them from England, France, and Spain came from?
If he was in court, the judge would have been like,
I'm like, bro, the self-awareness is crazy. I was gonna do a video on it, and I forgot. Like, I was like, "Yo, this guy really he just said that." But doesn't that just disannul America itself?
But it's us.
We don't apply to us. Said do as I say, not as I do. God willed it.
That's why the scripture says these are the ungodly that prosper in the world, man. And he probably said that same thing. He probably said what he said about Denmark, knowing that people ain't really gonna analyze what he's saying.
Every time they have Thanksgiving, they never process. They never process. You know what I'm saying?
That's why they don't care.
Americans are dumb.
These men, a lot of these conservatives are laughing about it, saying, "Oh yeah, take the Greenland." It's like, oh, there are people living.
Yeah.
You're laughing about like just taking authority over them because you need it for your security reasons. Well, how about someone take America for their security reasons? You'd be fucking laughing, would you? You'd be like, "Oh, that's not you can't do that. We're American." What about Russia say, "Oh, for our security reasons, Russia is going to be part."
Or even the Crimea thing with Texas.
Yeah, yeah, Crimea. These people are hypocrites, man. But you know, Danny Trump, they support him, so he can do what he wants, and that's why he's so scary. We told you, listen, it ain't nothing for them to start wiping out Jake, you know, because the majority of Edomites will just run with it. As long as they put the right guy in there, you'd be like, yeah, you know, it had to happen.
Yeah.
Them niggas in Chicago was being wild. We tried to help them. We gave them welfare. If this will make America great again,
It's like that shooting and stabbing each other.
man, fuck Esau, man. He ain't got no morals.
So 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy, but like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So like the same way iron's always gonna oxidize inevitably.
It's science. It's actually science.
It's science, yeah. Well, that's my favorite BMX track. I looked after shit, polished it.
So it's basically science that Esau will show his wicked.
Scientific fact.
Even don't shave it off.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with political correctness. The whole political correctness era and what they call race politics, where the Democratic Party started to basically outwardly appeal to blacks. Because originally, Democratic Party was hella racist outwardly. Then they said, okay, cool. We'll use the Democratic Party to put the Jake into the left-right paradigm. Make them think that there's somebody on their side. When reality is Democrats are never on their side. It's Biden and them. Like, for real. But they make it look, oh yeah, we care about black people. I love black people. And they started caring about racism and all this shit when ultimately they don't give a fuck about women. But that's what the political correctness era was all about. We don't want to outwardly talk down on Jake in a straight up manner because we don't want them to know how much we hate them. We need them to think that there's some of us that actually think they're human beings and they're okay.
They were working for their behalf.
Yeah, we're working on their behalf. That's why Jake loved them so much because they were good at positioning themselves in that position where you know they had that PR. That's what it was. Behind closed doors,
because they were increasing demographic as well.
yeah, they loved JFK. Man, fuck JFK. He was a devil, man. And I'm glad the Illuminati sacrificed him. Oh, JFK, he was a good man. A president of America was a good man. Oh, you don't become president unless you're a demon. He got killed because he was a sacrifice, man, and that was the end of it. It's good riddance, man. And I hope they kill this other one. He needs to go too. He's a devil because he's done a bunch of wickedness already. He said he was against the V thing. Now he's pushing the V thing. Make America healthy again. It was all lies, man.
After further studies, information.
Again, never trust thine enemy, man.
He was going on Black Man podcast as well, like Black Opera and all. He was going on that podcast twice. He went on there, like you know, he's Jake trying to get them involved in it. Black folks,
Get their minds. That's what they're getting.
When you look at a lot of like these liberals, when you hear what they're saying, they really exude the idea that they're better than. I'll always remember there was one clip. It was Amy Horowitz on Fox News, and he's going around like the different campuses and asking these Edomites why is voter ID racist, right? And then there was like, oh yeah, black people, they might not know where the DMV is. They might not know how to use the internet. You're listening to this shit. It's like,
If it
what?
gets stupid, you know.
Yeah,
like,
even
you know.
even Kathy Hochul, I think the governor of America, I think it's governor of New York. She was like, black people might not know what a laptop is, some dumb shit like that. And it's like, what?
What's that word, man? Because they treat you like you're stupid. And it's ain't trying to be like they have pity upon you, man. But there's a fucking word for it.
Patronize.
Patronizing.
Patronizing,
That's
yeah,
the word.
yeah,
They're patronizing, man.
Yeah, they don't love you, man. They don't love you. The Bible says love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Bill Clinton, Biden and Bill, they passed the crime bill that messed Jacob completely, man. The 3 strike rule. And they tried to say Bill Clinton was black. You dumb niggas, man.
Very
So because then these times now you got like some hippie ass Edomites, should be dealing with that weed anyway. People, some hippie ass Edomites selling weed, or you got a whole load of Jake that's done bids for 5 grams of weed.
Yep.
That's smoke.
That's a natural mystic.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not altogether been wiped away.
And the name, all you got to do is read about the name of America. You got to buy the book called Buried My Heart and Wounded Knee. And the one mistake, no, there was multiple mistakes in it. The one mistake the Native American Indians made was that they were leaders that trusted Esau. Because they were men like Sitting Bull that weren't having none of it. They tried to tell man, listen, dog, we just need for us to harass these people. We'll come together, rise up everything, all the warriors, and we just slit these men's throats here and get them up out of here. Then you had them, I wish I could remember, I need to go back and read it again. You had certain leaders that were just constantly like, no, peace pipe. And the Lord put a docile spirit on them where they were like trying to make peace. And all them men ended up getting murdered and killed.
Yeah.
All of them. Every single last one of them. Because they missed their opportunity when their man could have just got together and just ras out Esau. Because Esau played that game of, we're going to do a peace treaty. And the whole time, they were just managing them because they knew they couldn't attack them all at once. They were just biding their time when they would come and just wipe out the whole camp and take out the leader. You could go read the book, read the history. You know the nature of Esau. He plays those games. The peace game is part of his game. Make you docile and
Peace and destruction.
yeah.
He even showed you that film, Killers in the Flower. Like what the Osage nations basically shows you how they just married into families, and one by one, just taking people out.
You're being nice pie to the face, man.
Yeah.
Treating them good. Treating them good, you know.
Treating them good.
The man had oil though, innit?
Exactly.
So man was after the oil, like.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
And then
And-
one by one, bro, they was all gone.
Whoa, let's look at this.
Yeah,
You
and
got
it's
the
to this
MOTV.
day.
The MOTV is slavery.
Yeah.
And they've been planning this MOTV for longer than the civil rights movement, which shows you that the intention was always to put you back in hardcore slavery. Once you understand that, the intention was always, we're going to put these niggas back in hardcore slavery. That's what the chip means. So they were never with you, Jake. They had never intention of you being free and to flourish. They just wanted to use you, and they have used you. And they benefited more than you ever benefited from this king, from America too.
Psalms 144, from 7. Send thine hand from above, lead me and deliver me out of great water, from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their light hand is the light hand of falsehood.
Lies, man. So much, and that's one of the reasons why Jake can't really come to grasp with what's going on out here, because they're attacked by so much psychological operations on a daily basis that Jake's messed up in the mind. From the music to TV, you know, man, the way we see ourselves. A lot of the TV, there's a massive impact on you. By the time you're 8 years old, your image of yourself is pretty much already destroyed. That's a fact. And they do the studies where they'll and the thing is, if you do that with a white kid, it's everyone that's affected by it. They'll do the studies where they'll get the kid and say, show me the ugly child. And they'll pick out the dark one.
Well,
Where do you think that comes from?
like
That comes from the TV.
Yeah. Like that. Like my brother's son. I personally did that experiment when I was about 8. Like just asked him which I got 2 dolls, which ones are ugly, and he picked Jake. And I asked him just why so? Because it's black, and it was just something that was just
Came out.
in his mind. Like it's not something that my brother taught him or whatever. It's just what he picked up.
Wait, but because when you stay and you watch and you're watching certain programs, and so you're picking up the undertones
Yeah.
of exactly what they're doing, which is why you had that nigger in the world. But yeah, he had a few good points. Tommy Sotomayor, he used to have a thing called Hollywood Clown and Black Women. And when
Still does.
still does. And when you're like observing certain of the tropes that they have with Eve, like I just watched Chaos, and you had like AD's wife, and I was like, that is a typical trope of a black woman that they want to push on the world, right? So yeah, the negative connotations and stuff like that. You know, when you really got to watch Esau, man.
Yo, have you guys ever heard of Ham's Redemption? It's an actual painting known as Ham's Redemption. Mormon picture. Right, and this is the image. And then the Haitians, all the men from the islands. So if you, I'm gonna show you. Oh, Chicago, you seen that?
Oh yeah.
So you got the black grandmother, the mulatto daughter, and then the grandchild looks like an Edomite.
Yeah,
That's heavy. That's still the case. You know, all through South America, all through the idea of, you know, to be white is better.
Better, yeah. So like the reason I found out in the Korean, so the word for like white person, like vet, but that vet is related to being like healthy, to being related to being like good and whatever, what have you. So then when they're once again in the world, when they're looking at these people, they're like, oh, vet, healthy. It's all of the connotations that come along.
Same as white and being pure. Exactly. The connotation they have behind these things.
Yeah. And then what they do to Jake, right? They do to themselves, but in the opposite, where they're always the hero, right? Where they can get any woman that they want and stuff like that. It's the television, when you really start watching it properly, it's like, yeah, this man's straight up witchcraft.
Yeah. And it warps your view of yourself, your self-esteem from a very young age, man.
Good. You know, it's very spiritual. For that example you gave, like it just shows you how everything is based upon the scriptures, because the whole concept is I'm got cursed with blackness. So let me try and get back to what you redeem. Yeah, to redeem my people.
But then Esau is the one that's irredeemable. And he would that mark was put on him because of that. So it's all backwards and twisted, man.
Like, no one speaks about being made white. He doesn't talk about appearance and skin. You know what I mean? It's just being made pure. Obviously, Esau's used that for himself to make it seem like he's just and pure and you know, and there's the opposite is being black and dark and evil. But we take on these connotations, man. We start fitting into these stereotypes that Esau's speaking us, man. But we're not that. We are the Lord's chosen people. We are the ones that are to be made white, not physically. You know,
There's a shade of brown you are doesn't make you better or worse. This is bullshit. If you're darker, it don't make you better, and if you're lighter, it don't make you better. There's different variations of brown. What makes you better is one, your heritage, and two, the character, the spirit, man. That what makes you a valuable, and that's what we're supposed to be focusing on. Not about who's darker, you know. But Esau is the one that brought that into the realm, and now that's what it's all about, man. But it's all bullshit, colorism, and it's all bullshit, man.
Hey, bro, remember back in the day, some Benjamin said, what's the closest country to the sun? remember that? Jamaica. You're just like, you're trying to get into the whole. I'll never forget.
Oh, man.
Little Benjamin, man.
they were looking for ways to
Benjamin, they always find something.
Boy. Natural
Naturalistic, bro. So what's the closest country to the sun?
I mean, sure, that depends.
I don't know.
On the time of day, you know, kind of thing.
Exactly, for the sun.
Yeah, that's why we point out the color of the Israelites and the color of the Lord, but that's not what makes us special.
Yeah.
We don't have to run with it like trying to do the opposite of Esau.
Yeah.
It's normal to have color in the skin.
Yeah.
He's the odd Esau.
Yeah, it's just as normal as having two hands. It's just normal.
He's the odd one out. He's the ugly one, right? You know, everything. You know, so everything that he basically said, Jake, is feature wise is negative.
Marilyn Monroe weren't that good. I was looking at her the other day. She goes, "Oh, weren't all that." They've been lying for a long time. They be boosting up a lot of girls that weren't all that.
You see Sharon Stone, bro. She's that same blonde kind of back in the day. She's like a Hollywood, right? Like Marilyn Monroe. That no. You see it, she's old.
But that's all part of the witchcraft. And it's been like that. And remember, for a long time, the voluptuous shape of the melanated women was looked down upon. But the reason was for that is because they knew that these majority of white men can't compete with that. Because most of them, like let's be honest, most of them they shape like an ironing board, man. They got the body of an 8-year-old boy. It's just true. All mash up. I see them because we live around them. Most of them don't have good bodies and pray they don't put on no body weight because the fat just ends up in all the wrong places and they look like a square fucking milk carton. It's crazy out here, man.
25.
And after that, they're done out here. So then to go against all that, they had to come up with these false metrics of beauty and push that. So if you look at like even down to the in the 90s, they started making it where the look was the androgynous look. The supermodel. Well, what is a supermodel? Most of those supermodels just look like men. They had no hips, 0 hips, no butt, small breasts, and because that was more closely represented what their standard of beauty is. And it ain't until now people started working out, actually, and the curvy thing is the real thing. But you see, that fucked everything up because now it's like, well, what women mostly have that? Just in general, like it's nothing even special. I'm sure a man called Ghana is just mad. It's a madness, like.
With a smile on my face.
Bro, it's a madness. Like that's just a normal thing. It ain't gonna be like,
Nah,
wow.
for real,
It's
for
just
real.
like it's a standard. You gotta be over and above with the body to have. Everyone's got a, you know.
For real, bro.
it's-
Like, can you imagine? I remember when we came out from the slave castles, like, you know, people sell fruit on the side. Bro, it was like an abandoned, like a farm with a little shack, and the lady selling the little watermelons. It was bad, bro. To make her wife, but she just by herself, no social media.
But that's the only thing they can do is push. You know, your hair is bad. They got bad hair, and that's why you have the so-called. The reality is that's why you have the black woman's aesthetic is not something that just came about randomly. It's because they set up a certain thing of this is what's beautiful.
mindset.
And if you're not that, you're not beautiful. So they're gonna want to be beautiful. So that's why you see the weaves and the bleaching. It didn't just happen because man decided to do that. It's because Esau pushed that out there and he made it that way.
And the Edomite hair is weak, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of falsehood. Man.
A lot of false, a lot of makeup.
A lot of what they don't let you know is they be adding hair too.
Yeah.
Because they got weak stringy hair. So they have extensions and they've been wearing a lot of wigs too because their hair isn't full. Most of them.
Send out a Disney one like Rapunzel and these things.
Like Rapunzel. They might have long hair, but it's thin and it's weak and they don't look the same, man.
And it breaks all the damn time. You just like, it's like shit, like, you know, you flat shit, Edomite, and it's like clogging up the shower and all of that shit.
But that's why when you see most of them Edomite actresses outside of when they're in the movies, like Sydney Sweeney, man, she's meant to be the new thing that's the hottest thing on the block. And then someone showed a picture of her without makeup on, and I nearly ran, blood. I was like, yo, this thing's dead. She's like dead. But when they put the makeup on with the boobs out, that's all you're looking at, the big boobs. It's like, but take the makeup off and the fake hair. It's just boobs.
This is
Yeah, the fake, the thing, man.
this is Ezekiel chapter 35.
And Jake, and also and Jake and our intelligence. They're always putting down Jake's intelligence, or they're making it. If you find a Jake that's intelligent, it's like some big thing, like you found like a canary in a gold mine. But that's not true. That's not true at all, man. Jake, we're very intelligent people, man. It's just it's the disease that's they put on our brains, and we don't use our intelligence in the right way or don't foster it. But we're naturally an intelligent people, man. And the Nigerians prove that. They do. With less resources, man. The Nigerians learn English better than the English. Go on now.
Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, the time that their iniquity
Yo, bro,
had end.
I'm just concluding.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
So there's some blood coming, and vocab alone and these men don't want to talk about it. They don't want like us talking about it because it upsets them. But we're not upset. The reality is that the Most High has declared that there's going to be some blood to pay for all the things that's happened to us as a people. It's nasty. I know, look, man, blood is nasty, man. It's not something that you wake up in the morning and you just really want to deal with that. When people are getting chopped up, when real badness is happening, it's not a nice thing. Obviously, man would prefer like a party with some wine and some cake.
Yeah, blood of the grape.
Blood of the grape. But unfortunately, bloodletting and man getting chopped up and screaming and crying is a part of the earth. And the Lord said that that's going to happen. Some nastiness is coming your way because you did nasty. So now the nastiness has to come back on you. Now you're trying to hold this high moral ground and make us look bad. But the brother just read it. That the blood is going to pursue you, meaning it's coming for you. It's coming for you, your children. Oh, what are you talking about, children?
It's ours, isn't it?
Like I said, I'm not held by your morality anyway. I don't even. First of all, the children are wicked as fucking hell, and they're always trying to bully our children and be disrespectful. So I don't really give a fuck about little Johnny or little Cindy, to be honest with you, personally.
Yeah.
I don't really care. But since you want to talk about the children, but you didn't care about the children.
Yeah.
What about all the children that grew up in slavery?
Yeah.
If you're so against the hurting of children, then it should have only been the adults that went into slavery. And when the children were born, the children should have been born free.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, oh, you ain't got no morality.
Shows you in the book 100 years of lynching, when they would have the public events of lynchings. Like it was a whole event from the father, the mother, to the boys, the teenagers, even onto the kids. Because the young boys, 15 and that, would actually go and make the ropes. And the little kids, 4 or 5, would get sent to add more leaves onto the fire when the corpse was being burnt. So it was a whole, like it wasn't just like strong black Tom and Bill. No, it was a whole family event.
But it's going to be a family event for us.
That's it. That's it.
It's going to be a family event for us too, because our children are going to hate you too.
Yeah. Children, women, everyone.
Everything.
Shit, beasts don't fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the dogs are-
Yeah, because we're going to put the spirit upon, these beasts,
Yeah, they're gonna want their
spirits of
revenge.
vengeance upon them, right?
Because what Scripture says, even what the seeders,
Yeah.
we're basically gonna rejoice at your downfall.
Yeah.
You know, because ultimately evil put pain on everything.
corrupted.
Yeah. Hey, even remember the scripture speaks about how the our little child shall lead them, and how the beast ain't gonna do any harm
Yes,
to
to us.
the Israelites. But if you read it carefully, it says harm to us. It doesn't say he's gonna harm our borders. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they were the dogs, the Spanish dogs were
Okay,
part
taste.
of their weaponry,
Yeah.
and they would set these ravenous dogs on our
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
And that's a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Being ripped
Mauled.
apart by a dog.
Dog is
So the
terrible.
dog is gonna tear your flesh, man.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna. It's not no instant headshot.
Yeah.
And they would run that down, and the dogs don't care about children or nothing like that. The dog will run down man, woman,
Ruthless.
and child, man. Ruthless.
Ruthless.
There's images of,
Yeah.
so they don't have to pay for all that, man.
Yeah.
And that's I'm talking about, because we ain't just talking about what they did to the southern kingdom. They gotta pay for what they did to the northern
To the
kingdom
northern
too,
kingdom.
man. And that's a lot they did
Yeah,
in Mexico
yeah.
and all that, man. They did a lot of dirt over there.
Show you that in Django, innit?
Yeah.
Funny. He said the dogs send him to nigga hell.
Yeah.
Turn up, yeah.
Yeah. They were just tearing them up, man. So you gonna get that back too, man.
He used to suggest that it was the place that we would go.
Brazil as well.
You know,
Oh, they were brutal in Brazil.
Oh,
The lowest slave, the lowest life expectancy was of the way they ran it was, I believe, if you survive for a year, they made their money back plus profit.
Yeah.
So they worked you.
To
They
death.
they didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
You were getting worked, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was brutal. Even there was even one story of like an Edomite that came to like
Visit. Yeah.
yeah, and basically he saw one Eve with big breasts. He was like, wow, man, that lady's got nice breasts. So her master, you know what he did? Got her breast cut and put in a plate. And said, here, yeah, if you want the breast, here you go.
The removal of breasts was one of the punishments they would also do to slave women.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's sick. He's Joffrey.
Mad. Yes.
It's a nation of Joffreys, man, and everyone hated Joffrey because you Edomites were sick with power.
Imagine
But
that.
the Lord put a real on them plantations. The Lord put a real demonic spirit on a lot of them.
Yeah,
And then back then it was even worse than it is now because there was no checks and balances,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's why you had Thistlewood. Too
Yeah,
much
I was going to say,
Thistlewood, man.
he had
in
14,000 pages. He had for 14,000 pages of different tortures of Jake. And then there was
Yeah.
one main torture for Darby Dose.
And this is why the scripture speaks about us meditating terror
Meditate.
upon you, man.
Yeah.
What have you done?
Yeah,
Defecate. He had slaves defecating up on
Yeah.
slaves' mouths.
yeah.
He
Oh,
was doing the most.
and then even, do you remember, I believe it was 1882, there was a ship that was found, and all the Jake on ship was like bugging out because what got exposed, there was one particular Jake that got chopped up and served to the other Jake with a side of rice. And even they even spoke about how the ships had to eat the Jake's heart raw. It was eaten as raw heart.
You men are fucking animals, bro. Because you talk about, we were beasts. You are fucking animals, man.
Yeah, but they're not savages, you know. They're civilized, man. This is why I'm tired of the bullshit, man. I'm really tired of Esau, man, and all this fake bullshit. They see vocab coming up. I can't wait till we get into the kingdom. And I ain't even gonna do no more talking. I'm tired of talking. I'm just gonna show you what we need. There's more than one way to communicate. We're just gonna show you what it's really all about. This is bullshit, man.
So Ezekiel 25 from 12. Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and thereof the Dan shall fall by the sword, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord power.
Yeah, so we don't give a damn about people like Volcam Malone, and they come up and they're constantly trying to come up against us and trying to make us look crazy. We're not crazy. This is what we're reading. This is our faith. We know that the Lord is going to do these things. The Lord is going to revenge us, man, for what you and your people did. And let's stop playing the games, because it was you and your people when it was Egypt, right?
Yeah.
It was you and your people when it was Egypt, but we're not allowed to say you and your people now. What's changed? The Egyptians violated the Israelites. The Lord punished all of them, from the Pharaoh down to the man that was a servant, and he himself was a slave in Egypt, and the Lord punished him. So what's changed now? All of a sudden, well, no, man. All you Edomites are going to pay. And if you are an Edomite, you're gonna. Now, guess what? If you look like an Edomite, and let's say you look like an Edomite, right? But you're a Moabite. Well, you're not going to receive of Edom's judgment. You're going to receive of Moab's judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is according to the spirit and the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And so it's not like we're just being dumb. We're not being dumb about it. We're just saying what the scriptures say. We're not going to do any more or any less than what the scriptures have in store. If you are an Edomite, this is what's going to happen. Now, you can say you're not an Edomite. You know what? You could do that. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to go and do nothing anyway. Because we're not in the time of putting hands on Edomites. But when Yahweh Shai comes, you better hope you're not an Edomite. Because if you're an Edomite, you're going, oh wait, but I'm not an Edomite.
With the hands.
No. But we're going to have the spiritual Google. The real AI. We're going to be able to tap into ancestry. So you'll be able to look at a guy and you'll know what his lineage is. You're even going to be able to tap into his past life. Like Thomas Thistlewood, we're gonna know who Thomas Thistlewood is. Because the spiritual Google is better than the physical Google right here. That's got access to the real, pure, unadulterated knowledge in the heavens, man.
No corruption. No left.
So you might have a dude getting born into your plantation, and you look at him, and you're gonna be like, I came at the perfect time. I said, that's you? And, you know, and then you're gonna have something planned for him through you. You're gonna have pull up. You said you're gonna pull up.
Rent them out.
You might have a baby born in the kingdom in his vocab, man.
Yeah.
Man, you're gonna praise the Lord and do a feast that day. You're gonna have fun. Man. You're gonna have so much things planned for this man's life. And you're gonna be like, why is this happening to me? Yeah, because we know judgment. Like all these Edomites that's doing all this wickedness behind closed doors. All these serial killers and these murderers. Things that weren't even recorded.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of shit that got done to Jake here that weren't, because these serial killer Edomites that you hear about, they're just the ones you hear about. There's a whole bunch of murders that go unsolved. But then even when you go back then, there weren't much records.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's a whole bunch of people that Esau done all kind of madness to.
Yeah.
You had that Edomite woman that's famous down south that was torturing up all of her slaves and doing all this madness to them. But when we get her in the kingdom, man, the actual Jakes that she tortured don't get their hands on her, man.
Yeah. And even when they were doing a lot of science experiments, you know, a lot of science experiments.
Emmett Till.
Yeah.
Emmett Till, he gonna get his get back.
Yeah. Even like I remember one time I stumbled on some information about how like food, like how you know that you're supposed to have a certain, let's say
That's crazy.
like let's say you like need a certain
RGA.
Yeah, they actually tested that whole program out on like allied kids. Basically, they'll get starved out and fed a small amount of food per day to know that, you know, if we keep them eating that small amount of food per day, they would still live, basically. So it's a whole science experiment based upon Jake.
So we're gonna do some experiments like that too.
You know,
We're gonna see how. Listen, man, Edomites, man, you're gonna suffer.
there's so much, man.
You're gonna suffer in the kingdom. And you're used to having no seasoning anyway, so it's gonna be big for you. Because all that's gonna be gone. I hope you know that. When you come into our kingdom, you ain't even gonna get a lot of the stuff that we get in our slavery. Your slavery is gonna be worse than ours. You ain't gonna get no Friday night out in the club. You know what I mean? On spinning wheels and all these things that Jake can get now. Yeah, you're gonna have a merciless captivity, man.
You're gonna be under harder pressure to get destroyed. Yeah. Yes. There ain't gonna be this time where we don't get out. We'll be there upon you.
Yeah, no, man, civil rights movement. Yeah, you're gonna always be segregated, man. Yeah, man, man. Getting good jobs and that. You ain't getting no good job in the kingdom, man. Me personally, you know, Edomite gonna be working in my house, man. All your shit's gonna be outside.
It says the dark history of Canada's food guide, how experiments on indigenous children shaped nutrition policy.
If you skip back down to like here,
That's crazy.
yeah.
It says government policies were creating conditions of hunger in the 1940s. Federal bureaucrats found that malnutrition was widespread in indigenous communities and residential schools. But this wasn't new information to many indigenous people.
It was something that was planned. So let's starve out these kids and actually experiment what a person's supposed to eat. I think based on Jake, right?
It says indigenous people had been arguing for a long time that their kids were hungry in residential schools, and that government policies were creating conditions of hunger in their communities. It says the Canadian government began to send researchers to examine these conditions.
Yeah, fuck Canada too.
Yes, that's it.
I hope Canada does become part of America, so Canada can get listen, man. And it is when you really listen, man. I'm gonna say this. Look at the map. If you look at the map and then you look at where they actually live, you could draw a straight line across, and Canada will actually be part of the United States of America, man. So it makes sense. I hope that Canada becomes the 51st state, so that Canada can get hit thermonuclear missiles, because they did a lot of wickedness in Canada to our people, man. But they get away with it because it's like, oh, blacks are running across the border. Nah, they were wicked up there too.
The Canadians are the nice people, man. Ryan Reynolds and shit.
It says researchers to examine these conditions of hunger. In many cases, the researchers found severe malnutrition. Some federal bureaucrats and scientists saw the pervasive malnutrition and hunger experienced by indigenous people as an opportunity to test their scientific theories. You see?
Jake,
Esau's the devil, bro.
he did a lot of experiments on Jake, man. And this was a time of like no anesthetic as well. Always going into how like Esau would when you look at gynecology, that was pretty much all done on Eve. Like no anesthetic, just cutting her up. But he ain't got to pay for that. His man's got a lot to pay for. And as the elder was going into now, today's day, he has the nerve to try and pretend like he's the champion of women and children.
But his excuse will be, you know, we did it on the black woman because she can tolerate pain. All this madness, you know, all this false science you push out, man. You know, just an excuse so you can fucking butcher us.
And then who pushes strong and independent? He does.
It says PET was a major player in setting nutritional standards and policy in Canada. Scientific questions were often on PET's mind, explained Mosby. Questions like what the daily recommended intake for different vitamins and minerals should be.
It was based upon natives being fucking starved out. Then say, okay, so now if we give him this amount of protein a day, he should be all right.
So that's that new world order, man. Back then,
Back then.
trying to figure out how much food you really got to give these.
40s, bro. That's in the 1940s,
Because I don't know what context you're saying that, but that basically means because Esau likes to make these things seem like they were a long time ago. 1940s. That means that's like your great grandma's. Grandma's 85 years old. Man. You know, you still got people living from back then.
Yeah, my grandma was at 1945, so it's like that's like just before her. That's crazy. He's all got to pay. But you see, we're meant to just sweep all that under the rug as if that's just an outlier. No, this is how Esau is for our people, man. And there's more experiments that Esau's done that you don't know about, that they're not going to release. But guess what? You're going to pay for every single last one of them because the Lord knows. The Lord knows everything that you devils have done.
Yeah, man, even paid like Esau was like, because Jake we're just stronger than Esau anyway. But the way Esau would be with experiments is like, you know what? He's like half man anyway, so I can experiment and it's fine because they could, deal, with pain back.
So then they turned around and then we're like, oh, we know we did all these things, so with the V team, you can get it first. And then now we're finding out that it is the thing is destroying people, killing people, man. But never trust that enemy, man. Should have known when he was trying to push that.
That should have been an alarm bell. It's like,
oh man.
The man that was talking about restoring the faith that has been destroyed. One day, but it has
Where's all that now? Joke.
It says in 1947, PET began testing different nutritional interventions on close to 1,000 children in 6 residential schools across the country. These experiments used the baseline of malnutrition.
Think about it. That is the baseline of malnutrition. So just starve them out, make it fucked up, and then
find out how much you got to give them to make it.
That's the devil, bro.
But this goes into the scripture on the prophecy where it speaks about they don't care about the old or the young, man. You know, male or female, they don't give a shit, man. Esau just the devil.
And he did that to God because he knows even if people found out about it, they wouldn't care.
Do that,
no one with actual power would care. And that's what it comes down to. People who could do something about it not going to care.
But then it's him. He's the same people that would be like, oh, can you give £1 a week? Can you give £1 a day to save the kid in fucking Ethiopia. You know? Yeah.
It says these experiments use the baseline of malnutrition and hunger experienced by indigenous children in the schools as a way.
And can you just you know what I mean? If you got a child, bro, can you imagine that? Your child is just hungry all the time, starved out. But it isn't because the food isn't available. It's because this devil is experimenting. So that's why the Lord gonna put the spirit upon us.
You know, the
So
reason
that's-
why everyone else is fucking starving in the
that's
earth
it.
anyway. You know what I mean? He just goes around doing fucking dumb shit, man.
That's it.
Yeah, food shouldn't be a problem on the earth because with the technology and the logistics that the earth has,
Yeah.
food should actually be very cheap for everyone.
Yeah.
Because of the technology that
Yeah.
people have to produce food en masse, food shouldn't be expensive.
Yeah.
But Esau manipulates things on purpose, man.
And then you get countries that are food producing, but all their food gets exported.
Yeah. Exactly.
So they have to do nothing.
Yeah.
Or they produce crops that again that is like, for instance, you've got certain countries like when they went in there where people were farming for themselves, now they're just doing rubber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or now they're just doing tobacco crop.
Yeah.
So they're not really producing food for themselves. So then the food's expensive for the locals. Man.
Exactly. Or they do what's the thing where it's like a habitat where it's got like lots of natural plants and stuff. But then he will be like, when there's factories, you go, you say, like, this is going to be like palm tree, palm oil, and then because you see just how it scars the land, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just one monoculture for miles on end, and then now the animals are dying, the whole biodiversity of the area gets messed up and shit.
There used to be a cartoon, a movie called Fern Gully, old cartoon. And it basically showed about how Esau would go around destroying forests, isn't it? And there's like a demon there. There's a demon that comes with him that's destroying shit. You know, because that's what he's doing. He's destroying the earth. And that's why the Most High going to take him out, man. You know, it speaks about him, you know, destroying the earth. He's going around destroying the planet and the people that live off it, man.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a balance, you know. Because yeah, you're gonna cut down some trees, but there has to be a balance involved. And Esau don't have no balance if he don't care. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And ultimately, because he's not gonna be here forever anyway. So what is it? He's not meant to be on the earth. He's not meant to be here. We're meant to be here, man. We're gonna rule the world different, man. How can you have a people just starving for no reason other than that you just don't give a fuck? What kind of kingdom is that, man? So that you can stand over here and go, look how much better we are than them. And that's really what it is. These devils, you see all these devils in the UK, a lot of them feel self-pride because you have third world countries. Yeah. They see the images and they're like, oh, look at them fuckers over there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that shows you how superior we are. They don't.
That's how Esau likes to operate, man. You know?
And then they say, oh, these lot are coming over here from the third world countries.
Esau likes to drag everybody down.
But now the joke's on them because the Edomites are turning them into third world citizens. They're in the food bank, you know, eating dog food in the winter and that, baked beans.
This is Leviticus, the 23rd chapter to 22. And when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest. Neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord Yahweh your God.
Right, you gotta leave some for the people. I guarantee you they don't do that when they go over to these big institutions, man. And like I said, like farming was more difficult back then than it is now. With the industrialization of farming, food production is not really the biggest problem. If they really wanted to make food cheap for everyone, food would be cheap.
Yeah.
Because you got it's industrialized now, and you got the irrigation technology, so you ain't really got to worry about water to a certain degree in certain places, man.
I mean, Hop, like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, Hop could get, if he wasn't a devil,
Exactly.
you could be like, you know what? This place got a drought. So let me use
A lot of the food problem as well goes into the money supply again, because inflation hurts a lot of people in poor countries that spend a lot of their money on food, and when their currency is getting destroyed, then it's harder for them to buy the food that they need, man.
Yeah.
Esau, man, that's why the whole system has to be uprooted, man.
Yeah.
With missiles.
This is
But vocab don't care about none of this.
yeah, yeah.
This is the thing about these Christians as well. They come against us, right? He's dedicate their life to come up against the Hebrew Israelites. Meanwhile, the world is fun, and they got nothing. They got nothing they want to say about it. Vocab Malone did he do a video on what happening in Syria with them people getting executed over there? I bet he didn't. But he did a video on October the 7th, though. That was the only thing that he did that was outside the realm of, you know. And then he brought a couple of them JOOs to spin their narrative, man. Vocab don't care about experimentation. He don't care about people dying from the V's. As long as you just say Jesus, everything's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, here.
Man's from the Ultron.
Yeah. Bro, this dude really had a face tat of Jesus.
Yeah.
That was crazy. This is
And they started parading him around in the church.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Next thing he gonna be a Hebrew Israelite and turn up at the one of them man's Passover on the dance
Yeah.
for the music video.
This is Deuteronomy 20:19. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by force and axe against them, for thou mayest eat them, and thou shalt not cut them down, for a tree of the field is man's life to employ them in the siege. You know?
Yeah, that's right, man. Dudes, you have to have some kind of care for the earth, man, and what comes from it, man. But Esau, this is why the whole nuclear war thing is so. Think of it. The Edomite Christian man in the pursuit of power created a weapon that's so destructive that you cannot live there after. You want to talk about Jake? Oh, they're just animals. They destroy their neighborhood, bro. You invented a weapon that indiscriminately destroys anything in its path. Men, women, children, dog, cat, puss, octopus.
That's an extreme scale for you, right? But even just check Gaza out there. You check Syria out recently.
But you can live in Gaza.
I know, but we fuck up neighborhoods, man. They fuck up countries. They fuck everything
Well,
desolate. You know what I mean?
But the thing is about the atomic weapon is you actually can't fucking live there. You've destroyed this place. You can't even then now go and say, yo, let me live there. It's done. You've took a whole part of the earth and just said, look, man, for the purpose of killing, it's done. Them man in Japan now have kids with like 8 legs. It's like so. It's not even that you just chop some people up and then like, cool. Now, if they even live in there after that, their kids are coming out with like Avengers, bro, coming out like X-Men without the powers, bro. It's mad.
Yeah.
But these are Christians.
Yeah, that's fucked up, bro.
These were Christians. They actually said, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to make, and then on top of that, after that, they said it was a good idea to make more of them.
Yeah.
We're going to spend money making as many of these. We're going to make so many of them that, you know what, if we use them, it will end life on the earth. You know how insane? You know how insane it is that you took money and made something that even you yourself said that you can't use. So what was the spending money on it for?
And the thing is, like,
well, we know why.
Germany lost the war. I mean, like, well, we've got these things now. We want to use them. You know.
But then guess what, man? It's all right. When you use them, when them nuclear weapons hit America, the reason it's not gonna mash up the earth is because we're gonna have the power to close the atom.
Yeah.
It's power that you don't have. Kind of reminds me of what you were going into with the plates.
Oh yeah.
You said they were bringing, but they couldn't get rid of them.
Oh yeah.
Because we're gonna be able to get rid of radiation.
Yeah. That's it.
You can only create radiation. And by the way, did you know that after all them, because it weren't just a matter of what they did in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they tested them. So they tested them in on the ground, tested them in the ocean. They also tested them in the air, and all those nuclear testings is part of the reason why there's so much cancer in the earth too.
Yep. He's destroyed the earth, man. You gotta go, bro.
Which is saying that that's one of the things that they use to see whether a painting is fake or not.
Yeah.
Because the fabric itself, the canvas itself carries a signature of the amount of radiation that was in the land at that time.
Yeah.
So if you make a fake of something that was supposedly painted in the 50s or whatever, they're gonna know, well, the 50s had this level of radiation on average because of all of the nuclear tests at that time. You see what I'm saying?
It's low, it's before that time. It's high, it's now after this time. And
Bro,
Exactly.
it's truly why the scripture says, except the days be shortened, bro. Because, like,
That's a mad man. That's a man that ain't got no morals, man.
boundaries, bro.
Is that Christian vocab? Vocab alone is a nuclear weapon. Christian. Is it the Christian thing to do?
yeah,
Because oh, you guys are talking about putting people in slavery.
Yeah.
Bro, you man have got nuclear weapons, man, that indiscriminately kill. Is that a good Christian thing to do? Because America's supposed to be a good Christian country that believes in Christian values. So if you use a nuclear weapon, what part of that matches up with your Christian morality? I just want to know.
Christian agenda. The
I
salvation
know, man.
agenda, you know? Yeah, it's mad. Yeah. But it just shows how violent you are, though. You know what I mean? You know, the scriptures, Revelation 6:4, you know, red horse. You know, you're giving that great sword to take peace from the earth, man. That's what you've done. That's all you've done.
Yeah, you've advanced
Yeah, no.
warfare more than anything else. You all right?
Yeah, no, it's he's going to get some.
Okay.
I was going to say what time you want to close because kind of cold, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, cool. We'll close. What time is it?
I think-
five.
I think
About 20.
we started like
It's up to you. It's going to go, bro.
2:45.
Okay, about 20 minutes.
It's up to you. It's still
Yeah.
gonna go.
Yeah, man. So it's like even if you look at how much Esau spends on weaponry and how they put all this, Esau puts a lot into weapons, man. People don't realize that that's where they've actually increased the most is in weaponry, man. They put a lot of energy and time into the ability to kill. Is that Christian vocab?
Yeah, where's the energy to say?
That man can't cure cancer, but bro, they could kill a motherfucker. They know how to kill a man in all kind of different ways. Biological weapons. They got more biological weapons, but they can't cure cancer.
The vocab says that Edomites are done away with. But who's been doing all the mass killing then? All these damn. Who's got the blessing of the sword?
Well, we know they're not done away with because it's never been recorded, vocab, that they've been done away with.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the Moab ain't been done away with.
Revelation 6:4. And there went out another host that was led, and the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
War after war, man. All they're doing is funding wars. It don't stop.
Psalms 140 constantly are they gathered together for war constantly.
Yeah. You know, always doing some fucking contract, selling some missiles or some aircraft or doing something, man. You know, nuclear submarines.
Like the biggest polluter on the earth is the United States military. And they're talking about all this money. Oh, they did all this money for this, that, and the other. One of the biggest things that they spend money on in America is the military budget, and it's always been that way.
Yeah, the thing is, we're meant to be in peacetime. And then like I said, there's now weapons being made, mad money being made from all this weapons. We're supposed to be in peacetime.
Then why did America need to spend as much on their military as every other country in the rest of the world combined? Why? Why do you think of it? Why would you, if you're just some Christians that's trying to live your life here and just go about your business, you could build up your own defenses in your own country and have a little navy and just do your thing.
The Bible was your sword, right?
which that actually proves Esau. Because if you look at all of the nations where these weapons have come from, space race or nuclear race, it's the same faces.
Same place.
It just this guy from the Soviet, and this one from across the road here. It's the same people, man.
Devils.
You know, power was given to them.
Cain, man.
Cain. Two-ball Cain, man. The traveling, you know, dagger, man. Like, you know? That's it, yeah, isn't it? Two-ball Cain. Yeah.
They industrialized death.
Yeah.
Before wars, you know, not that many men died.
Yeah.
You might get an army on 10,000 on one
Yeah,
side,
but it's
10,000
localized.
and it's localized,
Yeah.
and most of the men didn't die.
Yeah.
More time when man figured out that it was over, man,
Yeah.
just run, and then like give up, like, all right, cool, we lost, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then you might like, you know, a couple thousand man died that
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it was cool. Then just pay up the tribute.
Yeah.
Now, them man had the type of war where it's just throwing bodies at it,
Yeah.
and man's are just dying like every day. Another 2,000 people
Yeah.
is dying.
To take a meter.
You industrialized war, man. Where the war's just lasting for like 2-3 years and there's millions of people dying, man.
Yeah, bro.
It wasn't like that before. How many wars in history had millions of people dying in it?
Yeah.
Nah. It wasn't that deep.
Yeah. Which is why World War One was called the War to End All War. It was
Yeah.
called the Great War.
Great.
Because people had never seen, like, yo, what's the hell on this? Yeah.
Bare countries.
Yeah, that machine gun and that they
Changed the game.
it changed the game. This man just made it like where, and they were throwing people at it.
Yeah.
It just sounds like they had to use their toys, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
That's what it sounded like, you know.
Yeah.
You had patches of land in Europe that had no
Yeah, yeah.
no
significance.
strategic significance. They were just sending young men after young men over the thing to die, man. And then the dudes, I would have shot. Listen, man, I'm bad man out here. There's no way. I'm sorry, bro. There's no way you would have said that many men ahead of me and they all died. I was going. You were gonna go. Man, listen, brother. I'm shooting the officer. And we're going home, bro. Because why am I doing this? Man? Like, it's one thing to be in a battle and we're gonna risk it all. But why am I doing that, blood? It's suicide. That's not brave. That's just stupid, man. And they did that, man.
What was that? The Falklands War?
No,
No,
it
it
was
was-
in Europe. There was loads
Yeah,
of places like that.
yeah,
in Europe, man.
But there was one popular one. Like, they just literally going in the middle and dying.
Oh, I know the one you're
From
talking
like
about.
a trench.
Yeah, I know the one.
I forgot the name because this
What's the name of the freaking?
you remember
Not the
school?
Somme, is it? Or
No,
what
I'm
is it?
just some is one because on this battle of the Somme, it was like 60,000 man died in one day.
That's crazy, man.
Day.
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
That's a lot of
Achieve
time.
anything.
Just bare souls. Bare souls.
But it couldn't be me, Rasta.
So much bullets, even the spirits get ripped up, you know.
And then if you don't go over, they'll do you for treason.
Yeah, that's true.
So, bro, give me a chance.
Give me a chance, man.
But you know it is as well. It's like what's fucked is like at least back in the day, the king will be out there with you, or you know someone of significance will come out there and battle with you. But now it's sort of like they're all back.
Yeah.
In bunkers.
Yeah, they're in bunkers. They're safe.
Yeah.
You know they're chilling. You know what I'm saying.
Really, and that shows you that it was a giant sacrifice.
Sacrifice. That's what it was.
A giant sacrifice. And it was full blood.
Yeah, because a lot changed after those wars. Like, a hell of a lot
There's
changed.
gonna be another big sacrifice again.
It's still-
Powers changed, you know. America became the great power. You know, a lot of things changed.
And we see that you want to see that Saving Private Ryan, man, when they were taking that beach.
That beach, yeah.
That was a
That's
heavy
crazy, that.
heavy scene, man. Man just kept man's good.
And you understand-
Man's there, man, with their guts hanging out all
You
over
understand
the
when the
place.
soldiers got PTSD and shit.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know, show
And that 50 cal is a serious weapon, man. That shit touch your arm to tear your arm clean off. You know what I'm saying? I think the 50 cal as well, if it goes past you, you don't even have to hit you. It just has to come like, if it gets close proximity, the power of the 50 cal will just rip some shit out, blood. So you don't even have to hit you, blood. Like, it won't graze your head. You know, like how Trump tried saying he got grazed by the bullet. Like, that's how bullets work. Everything comes with such philosophy. They get them 50 cows, man. Yeah, bro. I think that's towards the end of the film where the guy's on the big 50 and they show you split the guy in half when they hit him.
I listened to a news article from Mary Online, which say Donald Trump warns of an atomic Armageddon and say master nuclear weapons could end the world
adding it could happen tomorrow.
Hey, look, so.
Hey, trying to make it tight, you know. Trying to get it tight, you know.
That's why you can't listen to Esau, man. But it is gonna happen. The Lord eventually, the Lord gonna put the spirit for them to think. But they've been using them weapons as a threat for a long time. You know what I mean? To scare the people. You know, but ultimately the Lord's gonna make them use it, man. When the war really happens.
So this scripture says Ezekiel 38, the Lord shall put the evil thought in their mind. No evil things shall come into their mind.
Yeah.
Spirits in
Trump,
the job.
Trump ain't gonna do no nuclear war to me. Go on.
I want to say, U.S. President Donald Trump has admitted he believes that nuclear weapons are greatest threat to humanity.
Greatest plague.
Fret.
Oh.
That's nothing
It's a
new.
plague.
Yeah.
Tell us something we don't know.
Because the scripture says what in Zechariah, the plague,
Yeah.
the flesh consumed within their holes.
Yeah, all of a sudden now they want to use all that nuclear threat for the reason why they want to bring the peace to Ukraine. But didn't you know this before all this shit happened? They were happy to waste everyone's money and fuck us over, ain't it? This man's got fucked off that Ukraine shit, man. Now man got to pay all these bills. Council taxes going up and all this crazy shit, man.
And dancing, but yeah.
And they're still investing in the war, like so talking about it on the operational things now. They're only just beginning.
Just give up on news, man.
It says Catholics are worried that the use of monster warhead may end the world. Down say what? He said we spend a lot of money of nuclear weapons.
If I can say, it's like they keep talking about spending like money, but it's like they're not talking about the amount of lives they're wasting. You know, in these wars, it's like what all of them men that have just been like killed for no reason in Ukraine. Like, bro, let's be real, they were never gonna win.
Ever. Yeah, well, it's judgment.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimately, because it says that, like, so the reason why this war is going to happen, so that the Lord, all these nations will feel against Israel. It's a judgment. That's why the first task will be to bury bodies.
When the war first started, they were pushing bare British propaganda though. They were talking about how like the Ukrainians were standing up firm, like how they were resisting the Russian aggression.
But all lies. Like, because let's be real, it's like a lot of that was to keep the morale of the West such that, because then if you're hearing, well, Russia could hardly beat some Ukrainians, and then there's war with Russia, you go, but then if there's war with Russia, you're going to be they could even beat any Ukrainians. It's like, nah,
France, you know.
They made one bullshit story. They said, the Ukrainian soldier put the middle finger up in defiance before.
What people need to realize is that whole theater that happened over there in Ukraine, if Russia wanted to end the war, they would have ended it. They actually, like Kiev is still there. They could have do the Gaza thing to Ukraine.
Yeah.
But the whole point was it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be a prolonged engagement, so that the man could just milk what they did. Because that whole Ukraine war has led up to now. All the gas prices going up. That whole event that happened was because of that. And now they're just going to bring it to an end and move on to the next crisis, which will probably be in the Middle East, which is where we want it to be anyway.
They can't be using all the good shit on Ukraine anyway, man. They've got a bigger fight. What I'm saying.
Yeah, they could have fucked Ukraine up quick time, but then that would have been like scorched earth. You know what I mean? There would be nothing left. It would just be level, didn't it? You know what I mean? But they just wanted the money, man. They spent. They just increased the public debt of all these European nations, made us all pay crazy gas prices.
We was already struggling.
All the electricity prices we had to pay, and then military companies made mad profits, man.
Yeah.
They just fucked everyone, man. They break it down. They just basically fucked everyone for a war that never needed to happen in the first case, because no one cares about Crimea, and nobody cares about whether Russia owns half of Ukraine. It makes no difference to man over here and the fish and chips, is it?
And then also push further the green agenda, because a lot of people in businesses are like, wait, the way we were this close to the oil, we need that solar, we need that wind,
Germany give up your shit.
That's it.
Yeah, Esau's the devil, man. It's nasty work, man. Yeah, go on. Let me close it.
Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy it.
So there is a reason why these weapons exist. There's a reason why they exist, man. The Most High had put into these minds these scientists and engineers to come up with this devastating weapon.
And it is a Smith. So you go watch documentaries on missile technology. It's all about even the alloys they use for the missiles. There has to be specific alloys that can survive the heat and all that kind of business.
The pressure.
So it is actually not. It's a Smith, but you wouldn't think about it that way. But it is. They're engineers. They put together alloys in order to build the missile. So it's absolutely still a Smith that does it.
Titles.
Yeah.
They're the Lord's weapons, isn't it? So
That's right.
He had made the perfect weapon.
And that's why the Bible says that the wicked is snared by the work of their own hands, man. Because you did it. I didn't make it. You did it. You made the same weapons that's going to be to your own destruction, man.
The Most High gave Esau the technology that he had for Sodom and Gomorrah. So he just gave it, made him put in actual machinery. But that's the same technology from back then. Yeah. You know, splitting the atoms in the air, causing fire to come from heaven, and destroying cities, man. That's it. Yeah. This war's gonna be devastating, man. But yeah, you finish it.
Oh, okay. Back in Isaiah the 54th chapter, Isaiah the 54th chapter, verse 17, and it reads, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Jehovah, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, basically, in a nutshell, all these people out here are anyone outside of the elect in America, first and foremost, is going to be totally destroyed when the Lord sends those missiles up and guides them over there to destroy that land. And then, really and truly, even out here, the Lord then, as soon as Jeremiah 51 is going to make us his battle axes and weapons of war, meaning that everything that Esau tries to chuck up against us is going to fail in its tracks, and then we're going to then go on to conquer and rule, man, and overcome.
Actually overcome.
Yeah.
You know, go back to the overcoming, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna win. That's in Numbers the 20.
24.
Israel shall do valiant.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, baby. You know, the Israelites, man, our king, riding out, taking down your Edomites and putting them into subjection. And then we ain't gonna do none of more of this bullshit. We're gonna deal with your lives. We have to deal with your media, your education system, everything that you built, all the corruption is just gonna be taken away. And it's gonna be like a breath of fresh air. Then the world is gonna go forward with truth. And it's not that Donald Trump truth, yeah, because it's more of the same from that dude. I mean, actual truth, actually having righteous leaders, actually having justice and judgment. That man said they were going to release the bullshit Epstein list, which I wouldn't have believed if they released it anyway. And then they did some bullshit where they released like a part 1 using some influencers and said they were going to release the rest in a couple of days. It's been a couple of days out for 2 weeks. It was so bullshit. They're never going to tell the truth. This is what people are going to realize once and for all. There are no good Edomites. Right. There are no righteous Edomites. There is no righteousness in this kingdom, and there never was. Not for a minute, not for a day, not for a week. There's no time period we could go back to, whether it was 939 or 1689. There's no day, nor time, nor any time in history where you could go to and say, yeah, these Edomites was all right. They were righteous. They've always been devils. They've been devils the entire time, even down to this very day. And ain't no devil that's going to rise up somewhere and they're going to vote him into power. And he's this great, benevolent, righteous leader that's going to turn everything around. No, it's always going to be more of the same. More lies, more scheming, more devilry. And Trump proves that because he was meant to be chosen by Jesus to drain the swamp and bring back righteousness, and he's talking about stealing Greenland and AI and all kind of crazy shit, man. Bullshit.
Yeah. 2 Ezra 6:27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared.
But one of the truth is who we are. My fellow Americans, I must bring out this classified information that the people that we've known as niggers and Negroes is actually Israel. And now we're going to give them all of our money. That ain't going to happen. They still
God bless
running.
America.
Yeah, because they're ready to. There was one guy, man. He was there. And some dude, he was on the campus, and some Christian came and was like, I don't like what's going on over there in Gaza. And man's like, yeah, it's horrible, but as a Christian, we must support the children of Israel. Well, you know what, man? I like what you said there, but let's deal with this fact. Are you going to support us when you find out we're the children of Israel? With all these Edomites that are so diehard, yeah, we got to, because they're the Jews. If Trump came out and told you the truth that actually, do you see these niggas over here? They're the real Jews. You gonna start supporting us now? Cause we could, you gonna start giving us all everything?
Exactly. Oh, the money, $1 billion loan and everything.
They ain't gonna do that, man. So to hell with you, they ain't gonna bring out no truth. The truth destroys. The problem, what people need to realize here is that the truth destroys this place. If there was a leader that was to come out and actually say, you know what, I'm going to expose everything the CIA has been doing, everything the FBI has been doing. I'm going to expose all the psychological operations, all the lies the government have told from the beginning, yeah? It would instantly destroy America. The minds of the people would break and they would start probably killing each other. Because the whole fabric of their life and everything they know is going to be a lie. This is why there ain't no president that's going to come out and tell the truth. Because then they'll have to say, yeah, the moon landing was fake. It would just be madness.
That alone, fake it top of fake.
Esau's kingdom based off lies and blood, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's built on.
You think it's just 9/11? Bro, man would have to bring out so much psychological operations and lies that the government has done. That man would have to be like, why are we even here, man? This is hell.
It's a simulation. But then it's spiritual as to why the scripture says, like, no man shall buy it, because no leader is going to crack the code. You just need the Lord to come back.
Big fireball.
And then on that day, everyone learns the truth.
That's it.
That day, okay. Luke is over here,
The truth's gonna flourish.
What was that film? You can't handle the truth. That's the truth. The average American cannot handle the truth of what America actually is. Because if they knew what America actually was, they'd probably just go insane on the spot. The image of themselves. Hey, we know the truth, and it damn near drives us insane. Learning all this shit, you're like, oh, this is crazy. What? You can't eat this, can't eat that. This is insane. Oh, they did this? You just be like, well, what the hell? This is hell.
Shit. Even if you look up just food alone, you know me, man. I was looking up
that. Who do you trust?
You can't trust no one. Just drink water and absorb.
And then the sun, man, Project B.
The food, the Pope said, man, you can get too deep in because you really find out there's nothing we can eat. Man. Certain things you be drinking, you be like, it's fucking.
They know that we got to have the protection of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh for us, man, to even get through all this thing, man.
Poison and live.
For real.
It's Ezra. As for the truth, and it's always strong. It delivers forevermore. With her, there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just and refraineth from all unjust wicked things.
That's why none behind, man. But the truth, bro, no excuses. They ain't gonna care about, oh, but he's the president. No one gives a fuck. Yahweh is gonna come and fuck you all up, man.
Foul. You can't tell the truth about America. There's no one that can stand up on TV and actually tell America. It would break the whole part. It would just be destroyed because it lives on lies. It's built completely and wholly from falsehood, man.
Is that Nehemiah 3:1?
Yeah, it's all full of lies. but they want to be lied to, because the truth will be too much to take.
So that's sweet thing.
They want to be lied to. They want to believe, yes, you know, we're gonna expose the DNA records. We're gonna give you all the information. Never. Even if they did give you something, it wouldn't even be the truth. This is how devilish they are. Yes, we done a report, and this is what the classified information says. Yeah, right. Some bullshit. But anyway,
We had to verify it.
yeah, man, they gonna give you the truth, man. Right. Say,
Hell,
to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers out there teaching, man. This word, shalom.